Good morning. It is 9:06 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, how are you? I'm Chris Hand. Show's brought to you by our friends at Better Water LLC, Gay Frogs and such. You know the deal, betterwater.com. We appreciate you being here, listening, however you may be listening, whether you're on one of the apps, the FM dial, Little Radio Classic, or if you're watching us on YouTube or Rumble, we appreciate you. Hit like or subscribe if you're on YouTube and Rumble. Help us grow the digital footprint of the radio station. Thank you for your attention to the matter. Los Angeles mayoral race, the runoff is coming. We got, a few months, 5 months. Karen Bass is advancing to the runoff. Spencer Pratt is advancing to the runoff. Nithya Raman, she got...
noodled.
I was gonna say stabbed in the neck, but I felt like as soon as I was about to say it, I was like, it's probably not the right way to put it. It was a callback to the debate, but she got noodled as the best DEI hire in the business put it. She got noodled. Is that a technical term, Joan? Noodled?
It is not.
Okay,
it's just a play on her last name.
Oh, ramen. Got it.
You see?
Now I'm picking up what you're putting down, Joan. See, everybody.
That's
will
what us DEI hires bring.
See, people will call you that, and I don't think it's true. I don't think it's true. I don't know, man. I want Spencer Pratt to win. I wanted Spencer Pratt to win, and my wife, she's been a huge Spencer Pratt fan for a while, and I'm looking at the results, and I'm like, I don't think it's happening, and that's a bummer. And I want to be wrong. Just let the record show. I hope that I am so wrong. I don't want to be right. I don't. But Karen Bass beat him. Like if Spencer Pratt had came out with the lead. Let's say it was just flipped. Let's say that Spencer Pratt got 34% of the vote. Karen Bass got 30% of the vote. And Nithya Raman got 22%. I think I could feel a lot more confident today than I do heading into the runoff election. But I just don't. I don't. I think that's a tough blow. I think it would have been an uphill battle had Spencer Pratt gotten the 34% like Karen Bass did. Spencer Pratt, though, he's looking at this and he's running it as a win. He should. I mean, this is a big deal. You can tell that there's a lot of people in LA that definitely want to change. But we got a 1v1 matchup, and Spencer Pratt said, obviously, God wants me to expose the failures of Karen Bass for at least 5 more months.
Tonight.
Well, obviously, God wanted 5 more months of me exposing all the failures of our mayor. So it's going to be a fun ride. I hope she's ready.
Are you ready?
I mean, I was born for this, clearly.
I don't know. If you're looking at the body language, if you're looking at the facial expressions, he doesn't seem overly excited. I think he's looking at this, and again, maybe I'm reading too much into it, but it looks like he's looking at this as, crap, I got to do this for 5 more months and then take an L. Meh. My wife's texting me. She's not impressed. She said he just needs more time. He has until November. I hope she's right. I do. I don't want to be right here. But Spencer Pratt, he's going to keep fighting.
For Los Angeles.
And you mentioned you have widespread support. You believe the Democratic machine, to quote you, already behind it.
Absolutely. I love you. Thank you so much. I have a great night. Thank you so much. The communists already lost. So
Spencer, speak to those who maybe didn't.
So, he's putting on a brave face. My wife keeps texting me saying he just needs more time. Look at what he's done in this small amount of time. My wife is a Spencer Pratt believer. She has been since day one. She was telling me this guy's making noise back when he was just speaking out against the fires. She was impressed with him. And then when he decided to run for mayor, she thought that he was going to have a chance. I mean, he obviously did. He did more good than I thought he was going to be able to do when he first announced. And he did it on the back of social media. Let's be perfectly honest. He has run a campaign, win, lose, or draw here, that a lot of Republicans and conservatives or outsiders are going to be able to look at as an example of how to do things. There's a lot that you can glean from Spencer Pratt's campaign. There really is. From his use of AI to just the harsh truth that he's been able to deliver. But are you up against too much in Los Angeles? Is the machine going to allow you to break through? This is where what happens now. He was asked, are you looking forward to debating Karen Bass again? He said, I would debate her as many times as she likes. Do you think Karen Bass, excuse me, do you think Karen Bass is going to do another debate? Does it serve her any benefit to do another debate?
No, I think it puts her more in a negative than anything.
I think so too, but we'll see what happens.
Are you going to debate Karen Bass again? And what do you want to tell her if she sees this tonight?
You know, I love debating her on NBC. I look forward to a couple more on NBC and Fox. We can do debates every Friday if she would like, because this actually became my most favorite thing to do. So, yes, as many debates as Mayor Bass would like.
What would you like to tell her now that it's on, between the two of you?
Oh, I mean, she knows it's on. I hope she's ready, you know, because I literally could not be more excited.
He says it. I don't know. If you're reading energy and body language, it feels a little deflated. I think the vibe would have been a lot higher had he beat her. Even if they were still heading to a runoff, if he didn't get the 51% that he needed, I think the energy would have been higher if he beat her by 1 or 2 percentage points. And I wonder how the lead's going to look in a few weeks. You know, NBC is reporting that late mail-in ballot drops are going to keep pouring in for a whole week. Who do you think those late ballot drops are going to favor? As Spencer Pratt would put it, probably Karen Basura. Probably. In a worst-case scenario, they say Dems would have those drops lock out Steve Hilton. And less likely, it could put Nithya Raman over Spencer Pratt. I don't see that happening right now. I mean, Spencer's at 30%. Nithya Raman's at 22%, so I'm not sold that Nithya Raman's going to be able to get there. But we'll see what happens. We'll see. My wife is not giving up. She's blowing me up. She's blowing me up on the text. She's like, you have to have faith. You have to have faith, Chris. I try. I'm also a bit realistic about what he's up against. Spencer Pratt says he's going to debate Karen Bass every single week. He said we could do debates every Friday if she would like. He's not backing down. He is going to ramp up the campaign, but I just don't know how it changes because everybody knows it's been Pratt versus Bass from the jump, right? In the past few weeks after the debate, Nithya Raman has been an afterthought.
Are you going to debate Karen Bass again? And what do you want to tell her if she sees this?
You know, I love debating her on NBC. I look forward to a couple more on NBC and Fox. We can do debates every Friday if she would like, because this actually became my most favorite thing to do.
I mean, we'll see. Again, does Karen sign up for those? I wouldn't. If I'm Karen Bass, I'm not signing up for those debates. Why on earth would you? You just hope that the Nithya Raman voters come through for you. And I don't see how a Nithya Raman voter, first of all, I don't know how they exist. I don't. I mean, what are you doing? This woman was like, it doesn't make any difference if there's a homeless person shooting heroin up outside of school 5 feet away or 500 feet away. That's Nithya Raman, and people still voted for her. I don't understand how a Nithya Raman voter could say, we need a change in L.A., from Karen Bass, I'm going to vote for Nithya Raman, and then be like, we need a change in L.A., I'm going to vote for Spencer Pratt over Karen Bass. I don't see it. I don't see it coming at all. Elsewhere in California, we had the gubernatorial primary, the goobers, if you will. That's the technical term. We coined it here first. I think so. At least I thought of it. I didn't steal it from anybody. Somebody might have coined it before me, but it was an original thought, I swear. But it's been revealed that Democrat Tom Steyer spent over $200 million on his own candidacy. That's the billionaire who got endorsed by the Democrat Socialists, and he's in third place. That's rough. That's got to be rough. Imagine making a $200 million bet on yourself and then losing. We got Steve Hilton at 27.8, Xavier Becerra at 25.4, Tom Steyer at 19.6.
I'm not making that up, all right? Steve Hilton, too soon to call. You got about 58% of the estimated votes in right now, but a lot of mail ballots going to continue to come in for some time, and that's what slows down the counting. Hilton's got a slight edge here, about 2.5 points over Becerra. And Tom Steyer, by the way, Tom Steyer spent more than $200 million.
Yikes.
Right now, he is in third place. But how does the state shakedown here, all right? Hilton in red dominates inland, all right? Becerra in green dominates the coastline, and Steyer picks up a few counties down here around Santa Barbara. Let me pop out of California, one county down there around Santa Barbara. Let me top in here.
So Steve Hilton's got an uphill battle. I was hopeful for California. I was. Is this California's last chance? Does California or Los Angeles have another chance better than the one that they have in front of them right now? Honestly, I don't know if they have a better chance than they do today. I don't know if those odds ever get better for conservatives, or not. I mean, even to say conservatives, just common sense. I don't know if the odds grow for common sense in California to a better position than they are currently, ever. So we'll see. I don't know how much you need your state destroyed more to wake up. I don't. But Spencer Pratt, man, he's done some good stuff, man. And the Californians, the Democrats out there, they're going to have to treat this as a wake-up call, whether they like it or not. And they were talking about this last night on CNN. Michael Singleton, he dropped a statement that even had Van Jones agreeing with him when it came to Spencer Pratt and the campaign that he's run.
We are still in the era against the establishment. It's as Harvard professor Michael Sandel said, this push against these technocratic elites, the individuals who lead, who are well educated, a ton of experience, and yet despite that experience, the broader public is saying we're rejecting that because the tangibles are no longer tangible for us. It reminds me of Bill Clinton when he gave his speech at the DNC convention in 2024, and he spoke about the average lay person. And he said people are coming to political leaders saying we have problems, solve them. And for many voters in LA, I presume that they do not feel the incumbent mayor has resolved many of their issues. And so you see someone who is non-traditional, doesn't have a lot of experience, go from 0% to 22%, while the city mayor has been flatlined for the most part. This is unnormal in most environments.
Yeah, I mean, it is. And it's a wake-up call. The policies that you've put in place are absolutely failing. You need to change something. And maybe at the end of the day, that's the silver lining here. Maybe, if there is any silver lining here, maybe it's that some people in California will wake up at some point. I don't know. Place is lost. That sucks. I mean, California is an objectively beautiful state. It shouldn't be the way it is, but it do. Homeless, drug addicts shooting up heroin, raping dogs. That's actually happening. Lighting them on fire, testing their fentanyl on them. That wasn't enough. Losing all of those homes in the Palisades fire, that wasn't enough for the people of LA to wake up. And just the absolute chaos of the entire state wasn't enough to... Steve Hilton won his primary, but good luck. I mean, again, those Tom Steyer voters are going to go to Xavier Becerra. And then what happens? I mean, Xavier Becerra, yuck. That's the guy, he sat down for an interview, and he's like, you're not going to ask me tough questions, are you? It's like, wow, what? That's the Democrat Party. And they're in full control out there in L.A. We got a lot to talk about today. I'm excited to have you guys here with us. We do have some updates on Henry Novak. The absolute state of Britain yesterday was chaotic, to say the least. But I love seeing people wake up. And that's a good thing. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about the oversight hearing that Rubio had yesterday. He made a statement saying that the war with Iran is over now. We'll also talk about the fill-in for Caroline Leavitt yesterday during the White House press briefing, Dr. Oz. He did a heck of a job. And we'll let you guys dictate the conversation a little bit as well. 615-737-9986. If you want to call into the show, you're more than welcome to. You can weigh in on the text line at the same number. You're welcome to join us any way you'd like. YouTube chat's open as well. And real quick, before I forget, you know where I was at last night? Mason's going to be so jealous. Guess.
21 Pilots concert?
Oh, come on. No, I went to
You said I'd be jealous.
I went to Slick Pig for dinner.
Ooh, that's pretty good.
I always get more food than I need. I order with my eyeballs,
As one does.
So I got some wings, I got some brisket, we got some ribs. Like we went ham, which is always a good time. But even more fun than that, we met a few friends there.
Nice.
A couple listeners of the show. Wanted to give a shout out to Kevin and Karen, the Campbells.
Nice.
They say they listen all the time. So we salute you. I bought him a piece of coconut cake on my way out.
As you should.
I don't know if you know this. Low key, one of the best items at the barbecue joint is the coconut cake. It's the coconut cake.
So good.
Hope you guys enjoyed the cake. We got a lot to get to. It's 9:21. This is Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, what's up? It's Chris Hand here for my friend Aaron Parker over at Parker Safes and Vaults. If you need a vault, spoiler alert, you do. You need a safe, you do. You should get it from Aaron Parker. Spend money with people that don't hate you. Aaron's a great sponsor of the show. And a lot of people know that they need a safe, but they don't know where to begin. I mean, you got a lot of questions to ask. Which one do we get? Where do we put it? How do we get it installed? This is exactly what Aaron and his sons take care of. This is a veteran-owned, family-run safe and vault door business right here in Middle Tennessee, and they'll answer all the questions you need. For starters, they got a YouTube page. Search Parker Safes on YouTube and find a detailed video review of every safe they have in stock. From there, Aaron and his sons will offer the advice on the best place to put it. They'll deliver it, and they'll carefully and discreetly deliver it and install it themselves. They got some great deals going on right now. Plenty of safes in stock and ready to go. Not big box store safes that can be tipped over and pried open by a teenager. These are real safes from quality brands like American Security, Rhino, Liberty, and Heyman. Don't put it off any longer. Call Aaron today. You're going to be glad you did. 931-842-6445. 931-842-6445. As an added bonus, when you buy a safe from Aaron and you mention the Chris Hand Show, you'll get a free pistol safe while supplies last. It's Parker Safes and Vaults online at parkersafes.com.
An exchange of missile fire between the U.S. and Iran overnight. We've got the latest at 9:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
That's Joan Jones in the newsroom. Headlines on the way in less than 3 minutes. My name is Chris Hand. Show's brought to you by Better Water LLC. Water filtration systems, water softeners, betterwater.com. So Henry Novak, we talked about this a lot yesterday. It all kicked off in Southampton yesterday. Thousands of people taking to the streets, protesting the two-tiered justice system in Los Angeles, in London, in England. I don't know why I said I got Los Angeles on the brain. I'm like reading the text line and people are still saying, you guys stop being a negative Nancy when it comes to Spencer Pratt. Okay, sorry. Maybe I'm being too negative. I hope I'm wrong. But when it comes to Henry Novak, the young man who was killed by a Sikh that the police didn't help at all, even though he had been stabbed 5 times, and he's told them, I've been stabbed, I can't breathe. And the police just left him there on the ground to bleed out and die, which was disgusting because when you watch the body cam footage, you see his ice cold, pale white hands. I'm not a medical doctor, but I can't imagine his face looked any better. And they weren't even going to release the body cam footage until Henry's dad essentially demanded it be released so that people could see what happened. There's a lot of righteous anger in England because of that. And yesterday, the protests in the streets were wild. If you're watching on Super Talk TV, I got some of it on the stream for you. We'll roll it as B-roll because they're swearing, which I don't think it sounds as bad when you swear with a British accent. It sounds a little classier. It does. But Tommy Robinson was there. A lot of the thought leaders in the conservative movement in England were there, and they actually stormed the police station in Southampton at the protest for Henry Novak, and they were rightfully pissed. We're getting a lot of reaction outside of England when it comes to Henry Novak, and finally, someone in the United States is covering it. Who is that, you might ask? Well, it's a guy who I think is really rising in the ranks at Fox News very, very quickly. Will Cain actually brought it up on his show yesterday. I'll bring you that report from Will Cain. We'll show you some of the scenes from outside London, Southampton, these protests for Henry Novak. And we'll talk about a case in America that is going to be ignored by the mainstream media because it fits all the same parameters, essentially, as Henry Novak's case. All that and more on the way. It's 9:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Good morning, I'm Joan Jones with your top stories. An update from the Middle East now. Iran launching missiles overnight into Kuwait and Bahrain. The attack at Kuwait International Airport has resulted in 1 person being killed and 63 others being injured. And the destruction of that airport. The U.S. has conducted its own airstrikes on Qasem Island and disabled an oil tanker off the coast of Iran.
U.S. Central Command says the ship, which was empty, ignored repeated warnings over a 24-hour period as it made its way toward Iran's Karg Island. A Hellfire missile launched from a U.S. warplane into the ship's engine room. The Botswana-flagged oil tanker is now disabled. It is the 6th commercial vessel that the U.S. has disabled as part of the naval blockade of the Strait of Hormuz.
That's ABC's Martha Raddatz reporting. Locally, a silver alert issued this morning for a 91-year-old man who's missing from Davidson County. His name is Quan Pham, and he was last seen around 5:30 last night at a home on Haskell Drive. He was wearing a gray sweater, black pants, and beige shoes. Now, Pham is 4'10", 120 pounds, and he has gray hair and brown eyes. If you see him, call police. Starting in January, the state of Tennessee is imposing some hefty fines for uninsured drivers. They'll be checking to be sure that you don't register with insurance and then drop it. News 2's Tori Gessner says there are more changes coming, too.
Starting next January, drivers will also have to prove they're in the U.S. legally to register their car. And just because you can get here illegally does not mean that you're entitled to be here.
The legislation created with the help of the Trump administration, but Democrats call it discriminatory, arguing it unfairly targets immigrant communities. The state says to prove your legal status when registering your vehicle, you can bring a real ID compliant license, a Tennessee driver's license, or photo ID.
And that is the latest news. Stick around for your weather next. I'm Joan Jones, WTN News.
Hey, what's up? It's Chris Hand here for my friends at Busy Bee Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling, and they're keeping you cool and giving you a chance to hit the beach at the exact same time. If you need a new AC unit, go with Busy Bee, because if you purchase a new home air conditioning system during the month of June, you're going to be entered to win a free 3-day beach getaway. Busy Bee is going to cover the gas, the lodging, a couple meals a day, and one lucky winner is going to be announced on their Facebook page, so make sure you like them on Facebook as well, so that way you get the heads up when they're announcing that at the end of June, and you can win a free getaway. You'll be comfortable at home, and then you'll be cozy at the beach, thanks to our friends at Busy Bee. Now, maybe you're good on the AC unit, but you're looking to improve your home's air quality. You can save 10% on the deluxe air duct cleaning package right now, or 5% on the mid-tier package. You need plumbing service? Take $100 off any plumbing repair over $500, and when you do that, for a limited time, you'll receive a free Yeti cooler with any whole home drain, repipe, or water repipe project. Again, the beach getaway contest is going on now. Open exclusively to customers who purchase a new AC system in June. One winner will be selected. Restrictions do apply. Call Busy Bee today, 615-775-7833, 615-775-7833. When you need help with your AC, you got to call Busy Bee, busybeehvac.com. 37 minutes past the hour on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. My name is Chris Hand. The show is brought to you by Better Water LLC. Water filtration systems, water softeners, betterwater.com. Been arguing with somebody on the text line.
Fun.
I have. This is what I do during the commercial breaks. I'm being accused of being a Zionist. It's like, what are we doing? So, well, for starters, they accused Dan of being a Zionist. I'm like, dude, do you even listen to Dan?
Do you pay attention?
And he said, no, I don't listen to Dan. It's hard enough getting through your show. Okay.
At least you're honest.
He said, you're just a trickle down from Dan, who's a trickle down from Mark Levin. So basically, Mark Levin is your grandfather. Oy vey. The night guy? Talking about the night guy. I said, you're way off base. You're welcome to call in. I don't know what to tell you. I think AIPAC should be registered as a foreign lobby. I'm not a fan of giving foreign aid to any country, let alone Israel, when we're, $39 trillion in debt right now? $39 trillion? And I think these are serious conversations that we could be having. But I think a lot of these conversations get ruined by the Jews talking points, no matter what side of the angle that you take on it. So you're welcome to call in. I'm happy to talk to you about it. 615-737-9986. In the meantime, we were talking about Henry Novak. They want to bring back the death penalty in England for Vikram Digwa. It's probably not going to happen, but I do like that it's happening. Elon Musk has endorsed Restore Britain leader Rupert Lowe's proposal to execute Henry Novak's killer, Vikram Digwa, and criminally charge the officers who allowed his murder. Plus, he wants to deport the killer's family, which I think needs to be done. I mean, the brother with the fake 911 equivalent number, the fake call saying, bruv, we were racially attacked by a white man. Oi! That's ridiculous. The mother then comes in out of nowhere and hides the murder weapon. They should all be sent home. Nothing of value would be lost. Vikram Digwa should be executed. Nothing of value will be lost. I don't think it'll ever happen. This is Rupert Lowe a few months back talking about bringing back the death penalty for this case in particular.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Every week we hear of a brutal murder, rape or stabbing, far too often perpetrated by someone who should not be in our country to begin with. Does the Prime Minister agree that for cases where the guilt is so undeniable, the crime so monstrous, the evil so irredeemable, the reintroduction of the death penalty for both foreign and domestic criminals should be put to the British people in a legally binding referendum?
I mean, you hear the groans from Parliament. Oh, heavens. Oh, how could we allow something like that in Britain? Oh, the rape of thousands of girls, totally fine. Let's not talk about that. The murder of Henry Novak, totally fine. Let's not talk about that. Personally, I'm a death penalty maximum guy. I think we need more death penalty, not less death penalty. I do. This might be an unpopular take. Maybe you find it very, very reasonable. But if you're found guilty of, let's say raping a child, I think that the penalty should be wood chipper, feet first, slow speed. Tell me why it shouldn't be. Make the case if you're anti-death penalty. Honestly, I think that if you're a convicted murderer, beyond a reasonable doubt, especially given the advances in evidence, the DNA testing, we can do it pretty quick and pretty reasonably, and we can find guilt pretty soundly. I think that, you should be executed quickly, too. I'm tired of, the 3 hots in a cot for 40 years. That's ridiculous, too. No. I don't even think you should get your last meal. You want a Big Mac? Should have thought about that before. No, that's stupid. So I think we need more death penalty, not less. It's not going to happen. It's not. You want to know something even more infuriating? So Henry Novak was killed by a son of an immigrant in England, and the murderer was sentenced to life. Never got handcuffed, by the way. It was never handcuffed by police, even at the police station. He was allowed to pick out his own food because religious reasons. All of this infuriates me. I'll just be perfectly honest with you. Deal with what you deal with. You make your bed, you lie in it. But he's unlikely to even serve his full life sentence in England. This guy was sentenced to life, minimum of 21 years. But it's not going to happen. He's not even going to probably serve the full 21 years. Yes, I think he should be executed. I don't think that's a hardcore statement to take. I don't think that's a hardcore stance. He should absolutely be executed. The odds of him serving a full life sentence are lower than 10%. And this isn't just like, I'm not just like throwing numbers out here. This is based on UK statistics and practice. Most people with life sentences in the UK are eventually released after serving their minimum term, plus some extra time if needed. The parole board will decide based on risk to the public, not punishment. Historical data in the UK shows that people that get sentenced to life sentences usually, on average, serve 15 to 20 years. 15 to 20 years. It's crazy. The vast majority who reach their tariff, that's the minimum sentence, and show good behavior and progression, well, they get paroled. So at most, this guy's going to serve 21 years. Probably less. For murdering an unarmed British person that the police then handcuffed and let die on the ground. It's disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. The parole success rate for lifers at hearings are over 70% positive for the parolee. Over 70%. This guy's not serving a life sentence. He should be executed. He should be. Nothing of value would be lost. Everybody knows it. His family should be deported. His mother should already be gone. What is England doing other than slowly watching their nation slip away from the greatness that it once was? Death by 1,000 cuts. Only a very, very small fraction of murderers in England actually die in prison. That's just the reality. And Vikram Digwa, he's going to get out. I mean, you think about the liberal lean and the tendencies of England. You think some parole board isn't going to parole this person of color? Yeah, right. I just don't see it. He's going to be released. He should be killed. He should be executed. And I think we need more death penalty, not less. Prove me wrong if you disagree. I understand that life sentences have been overturned. I understand that people have been wrongfully put to death. Okay. Got to crack a few eggs to make an omelet. I'm sorry. A lot of those sentences were before DNA evidence was even in play. And this guy is just dead to rights on murdering Henry Novak. And everybody knows it. He should be killed. He should. And I'm not gonna pretend I don't think that. Thousands of people are rightfully pissed in England. It should be a lot more. They attempted to storm the police station yesterday in Southampton at a protest for Henry Novak. It is good to see some energy back on the streets when it comes to the protests. If you're watching on Super Talk TV, I'll put the protests on the B-roll for you because these Brits, they're swearing with a bit of an accent, but they're chanting "I can't breathe," stop two-tier policing, and they should be this pissed. I'm glad that they're this pissed. Finally, we see some fight out of the Brits. I mean, I think we need to see more. I don't think we're seeing enough. British actor Lawrence Fox was at one of the protests, and he said it. I mean, he said it, and he's absolutely right. He's like, man, the city would have been on fire if this was a black person that was killed.
I was going to say, what's the main reason you're out here today? What should we do about all of this?
Because it's the most disgusting thing I've ever witnessed in the world. If this was a young black man, the whole country would be on fire. There'd be McPherson reports. There'd be independent inquiries. Those people in there are your enemy. They're not your friend.
He's absolutely right. Also, I wonder if you would get the groans. I wonder if you would get the moans if a white person did this racially motivated attack against a person of color and they were talking about bringing the death penalty back. Do you think it would receive the same reaction? It's not reverse racism, it's just racism. And everybody knows it. Nobody's been covering this with any bit of integrity outside of one guy in the U.S., and that guy is Will Cain. And props to him for doing it. Will Cain went on his show yesterday, and I said this earlier, and I mean it. He's absolutely rising in the ranks as one of the most important voices on Fox News because he's just fearless with his reporting. When the New York Times doesn't want to touch this, but they'll run thousands upon thousands of stories on George Floyd. When NPR or PBS or CNN, they just avoid it entirely. There's only a couple outlets that are reporting on this. GB News in Britain, which I think is even more brave, to be perfectly honest with you, because of the hate speech stuff that they got to deal with over there. And the fact that individual, Patrick Christie, who reported on it, is probably going to be targeted by a lot of these groups. But the only news source in America that's covering this with any bit of integrity, the only newsman, is Will Cain over at Fox News.
18-year-old Henry Nowak was stabbed to death in Southampton, England last year by 23-year-old Vikram Digwa. Digwa, a Sikh, claims he acted in self-defense. He told police that Nowak had racially targeted him and ripped off his turban. At trial, jurors rejected those claims. Digwa was found guilty of murder and sentenced to life in prison. Now, though, newly released body cam footage shows exactly what happened. Officers arrived at the scene and arrested Henry Nowak as he lay bleeding from his stab wounds. And the 18-year-old can be heard telling police, "I can't breathe."
I can't breathe. Grab his other arm. What's happened to you, right? Been stabbed. You've been stabbed? Whereabouts? I don't think you have, mate.
I don't think you have, mate. Well, one of the things that I don't even think I mentioned it yesterday, to be perfectly honest with you, but as they're grabbing his arms, his body is like limp. He's essentially lifeless already. I mean, and the pale hand of Henry Nowak. I mean, just look at how pale his hand is if you're watching on Super Talk TV. How these officers didn't react and know something was wrong. Or maybe they did and they just didn't care. It's crazy. One of the officers has resigned. But I think it's important to note, he's only resigned now after the backlash. This isn't having anything to do with guilt or shame. It's because he wants to get out of Dodge before the heat gets turned up. I think all of these officers should be fired. I think that they should be tried. They're complicit in Henry Nowak's murder.
And? I can't breathe. Saying he's been stabbed, so let's just check him.
Where do you think he's been stabbed? In the face? Oh no, but we have to check, don't we?
No. We have to check, don't we? I guess we have to.
In the face?
Just get these back off, get their details on that, and I'll keep hold of him.
Should we
keep you on your side, mate.
Just being beat up. Are we able to get an ambulance, please?
You've been stabbed. Whereabouts? I don't believe you have, mate. I can't breathe, Henry Nowak says more than 9 times in the portion of the video before what you see on your screen. The police walk up to a scene where they know nothing has happened. They know no details. They only accept the words of Digwa that he was the victim of a racial attack, placing Nowak in cuffs as he dies there at their feet. Henry's dad says the way his son was treated in his final moments was degrading.
Henry did not die with dignity. He did not die with the care he deserved. He lost consciousness before anyone believed him. Let me be absolutely clear. We hold Vikram Digwa solely and 100% responsible for the brutal murder of our son. But Henry should not have died on the streets of Southampton in police custody. The way he was treated was inhumane and degrading.
Digwa was not the victim of a racial attack. Digwa was convicted of murder. But now the attention is focused on the police, where even UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer says that body cam footage is disturbing.
Yeah, but he only said that 181 days after it happened. He probably saw the body cam footage before then. The only reason the body cam footage was released was because Henry's father forced it to be released. Keir Starmer is a wanker, and he's only doing this now to save face. You know how long it took him to tweet about George Floyd, a murder of a felonious drug addict in the streets of Minneapolis? It took him 5 days. It took him 181 days to comment on Henry Novak. We got more on the way, and we'll take some of your calls. Steve and Mount Juliet, hang on the line. RD, we'll get to you as well. It's 9:52. This is Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, what's up? It's Chris Hand here for my friends at the Glock store. We were there this past weekend, an awesome open house. I had a blast meeting everyone that came through to see myself, Dan Mandis, Matt Murphy. I got to bring my boys with me. It was the first time that I've been able to bring my two young sons with me to the Glock store, and I don't think it's going to be the last. I actually had an interview with Lenny McGill, the owner of the Glock store, a few weeks back in the lead up to the open house, and I said, practical question, when is too young to get your boys training on firearms? Now, full disclosure, both of my boys have already shot a smaller .22 rifle, but that was in the backyard with their uncle, and we're shooting at targets. That's not the kind of training that we're talking about. And Lenny had said, man, between 8 and 12, you can start getting your kids trained. Every kid is different, but they have options for you at the Glock store. And my 8-year-old, Brooks, was so excited. He shook Lenny's hand. He said, thank you, sir, for telling my father that. Thank you, because I'm coming here for some training. And that's kind of our next to-do when it comes to the Glock store. They don't have shooting lanes. They have private shooting rooms, and they always provide one of the world-class instructors to give you everything you need to know and make sure everything is done in a safe way. So I do believe that your kid should be trained on how to use a firearm. I think that is a necessity in 2026, but you got to do it the right way. So with my kids, we're going to do it at the Glock store. Lenny McGill said it was okay, Dad. Lenny McGill said as long as it's good with you, it's good with him. So we're going to go to one of those private shooting rooms. You can do the exact same thing. You book your session at shoot270.com. It's the Glock store, minutes from the airport, worth the drive from anywhere, and always open online, glockstore.com.
Hey, it's Dan Mandis from Super Talk 99.7 WTN and Nashville's Morning News. I'm here with Chris from USS, United Structural Systems. He's checking out my basement, my foundation, my crawl space to see if there's anything wrong. Fingers crossed. All right, so there's good news and there's bad news. The bad news is we found some cracks in my basement wall. The good news, I've got Chris here who's going to walk me through the next steps.
Yes, so unfortunately, your house has been subject to the pressure of the dirt. The hydrostatic pressure, heavy dirt pushes on foundation walls, and you've got a little bit of what we call bowing. So that wall is pushed in a little bit. We have a lifetime warranty solution for that. So we install, usually in a day or two, this can be done in most situations. We install carbon fiber straps, which keep the wall from moving inward at any point in the future. It's a lifetime warranty for anybody that ever owns this house. So it's a quick and routine thing that we do, but it yields some long-lasting benefits.
It's a great selling point if you want to sell your house.
Absolutely. Good thing about our warranties is they're not only transferable, like the contract says, they're automatically transferred when you sell your house. So you don't have to sign any paperwork or even send us an email saying that you sold your house. Warranty would transfer to the next owner.
A local nurse practitioner facing serious prison time will tell you what she was just convicted of. It's coming up at 10 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
That's Joan Jones in the newsroom. My name is Chris Hand. The show's brought to you by Better Water LLC. My guy Steve in Mount Juliet's been holding for a minute. I appreciate you, Steve. What do you got?
Good morning.
Good
I really
morning, sir.
believe that the death thank you. I really believe that the death penalty should be expanded to cover armed robbery, whether it's with a pipe, a firearm, or a knife, and also anybody that molests a child, rapes a woman, or abuses the elderly. And it also should be expanded or lowered to 15 years old being tried as an adult, because all these kids are out there running around on the streets. They didn't get any raising, and so now they're just acting like a bunch of hoodlums, and that's the only way we stop this. And also, once they're found guilty, they need to be marched out the side door and either hung, shot, electrocuted, injected with whatever drugs they want to put in there, or build a guillotine back and chop their head off. Because we just need to end it and end it now.
Steve, I appreciate the call, man. You're welcome to call at any time. I thought my take was hardcore. Steve said, hold my beer, my friend. You want the death penalty expanded? Well, so do I. Steve woke up and chose violence today.
Yeah.
I'm not against it. I don't know. The 15-year-old one, meh. I do think it needs to be case by case, right? I think circumstances matter. But I do agree on the abusing the elderly, molesting children. Yeah, absolutely. Sign me up for that. Armed robbery, that kind of stuff. I mean, I think that's a bit nuanced. I do. I'm not saying I'm opposed to it. I think it could be on the table, but I don't know if that would be a every case kind of thing, which I think the child predators, that should be every case. Every case, right? I feel like that's fair. 10 o'clock, Super Talk, 99.7 WTN.
I'm Joan Jones with your top stories. While votes are still being tallied in California, Karen Bass and Spencer Pratt are claiming victory in the primary for LA mayor. And Steve Hilton leads the field for the race for governor. Meantime, the Supreme Court delivered maybe the biggest election story of the night, backing up its previous ruling on racial gerrymandering of congressional maps with a new decision.
The justices have now cleared the way for Republicans to use a contested congressional map in that state. The map eliminates one of the two majority black districts currently held by Democrats.
ABC's Liana Moise. A federal jury has convicted a registered nurse practitioner from Murfreesboro for intentionally over-prescribing opioid pills at her workplace. Here's News 2's Kendall Ashman.
Heather Marks was indicted alongside other medical professionals. A jury found her guilty of over-prescribing controlled substances to patients at a clinic in Carthage. On Monday, Marks was convicted of conspiracy and illegally distributing controlled substances.
She worked at Life Force Pain and Wellness Clinic in Carthage. The Department of Justice said her arrest was part of a major regional drug roundup. This is a busy day for Chud the Builder. He had a court date this morning in Davidson County for theft charges brought against him for ordering food at Bob's Steak and Chop House and then allegedly refusing to pay. That happened early in May. His real name is Dalton Etherly, and he's due this afternoon in Montgomery County Court for a hearing related to an argument and shooting that took place a few days later in Clarksville. Etherly reportedly shot the man with whom he was arguing in that case. Like a bad penny, this guy keeps showing up. Former Republican Congressman George Santos is facing a new federal investigation.
Back in February, Santos released this video.
I'm going to be there for the State of the Union in the gallery, guys.
At the time, Kalshi was taking bets on who would attend President Trump's State of the Union speech. Sources say Santos placed wagers tied to his own attendance, but during the address, he posted, "Watching State of the Union from an airport TV was not part of the plan." By skipping the speech, sources say he pocketed tens of thousands of dollars.
That's ABC's Sophie Flay reporting. That is the latest news. Weather's next. I'm Joan Jones, WTN News.
It's 6 minutes past the hour on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. My name is Chris Hand. The show is brought to you by Better Water LLC. Water filtration systems, water softeners, betterwater.com. You can listen on all the apps, the FM dial. You can watch us on YouTube or Rumble. Hit like, hit subscribe while you're there. We appreciate you helping us grow the digital footprint of the radio station. Isaac had texted me, and I asked him to call in. Thanks for calling in, man. I appreciate it. What do you got?
Well, you had talked about this racist thing, and this the left uses and abuses this word ridiculously. And I want to point something out very clearly, as I said to you in the message. Have you actually looked up these two words, these two very different words in the dictionary? Have you ever actually done that?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So I would imagine that the listening audience may or may not know the difference between these two words. The word racist, you and I and every other person out there that is listening to this, we are all the same. So when we in fact say that we are quote unquote racist, we are saying that we hate each other because we are all the same species. Now, the other word, prejudice, has a totally different word connotation to it. It means that we have fear of the differences of culture and or color, but I don't see color. I see melanin count. Is I believe that everybody is the same as creation because I am a follower of Christ and I believe in that wholeheartedly. So when I hear the left abuse this word, and then I hear someone like you on a conservative talk station, in Nashville saying is using this word, I just I've been sitting on this forever, not wanting to call in and complain about it because I get tired of hearing it.
So you're saying so when I say that the way the media's treated this and the way the police treated Henry Novak was racist, you have an issue with that because you think the correct term would be prejudice.
Well, prejudice with hate, because clearly
but I mean,
there is
don't you agree that racism is typically described as a form of prejudice and discrimination based on racial categories?
Well, no, because again, we are all the same species. So when they use this word, they abuse the word by saying that because we are culturally different. We are not. That is not a racist idea. That is not racism or any other part of the word race.
I mean, but
I would color around the word prejudice more than anything.
I just think that's splitting hairs because I think that the way it's commonly described and the way it's commonly used is a specific form of prejudice and discrimination. And I don't know how you look at what the police did to Henry Novak or how the media has not covered what happened to Henry Novak. And then if you were to reverse the roles and think about how the police would have acted and how the media would have acted, I don't know how you describe that any other way.
Well, my position on that is I first heard it, that kind of thing would have happened here probably in a blue state, but, in a red state like ours, it probably never would have happened. So, but because it happened over there where they have completely bought into this NWO thing, and I'm trying to be polite about it because I know I'm on air. So when I'm thinking about what they're doing and what they're up to, they're trying to wipe out certain peoples in order to get their voting block or their tax block or whatever the role.
Yeah, I mean they're absolutely replacing the native population, and I think you can make the argument that it's happening in America as well with the amount of immigration that we have. I think replacement theory isn't a theory. I think we can actually make concrete arguments that it's happening, and it's happening in every Western nation across the world. I don't think that that's a hot take.
Look at the trucking industry. Look at the trucking industry. I've been in the trucking industry for 20 years, driving OTR. My industry in itself, I'm going to use this as a replacement theory too, because the reason why mom and dad don't care about the prices of Walmart is because the guy behind the steering wheel may not understand what they're doing. They can't read the signs. They don't understand their contracts. They don't understand anything. However, for someone like me who is an American who understands everything, I'm sitting here having to take a rate that's absolutely just going to destroy my finances because they will take a rate that is maybe a third or a half less than what I would take it for.
Yeah.
There's a lot of differentiations out there.
And it's not just the trucking industry. I mean, golly, we can go with H-1B visas in the tech industry and do that as well. I don't think we need any immigration in this country. And I think that we need to put a pause on all immigration unless you can absolutely tell me how it benefits the country, because we're staring down the barrel of the AI revolution. And it is not with outside the realm of possibility that in 10, 15 years, on the low estimate, 25 to 30% of the jobs in this country are going to be eliminated. So why on earth would we need to keep importing people?
Well, I will tell you why. And I'll make this quick because I know you drive a limit on time. But the reasons why I believe, because as an employer, as I was before, I owned my own fleet and whatnot. I had people, I tried to hire Americans. Americans want a ridiculous amount of money, and you try to accommodate that, and you can't because the bottom line is just too high, and your profit margins are too thin. Now I can hire someone from another country and bring them here on a work visa, and they would be able to and be more willing to work for the less wage. So when I hear you talking about why can't people go pick cotton, go pick apples or cherries or whatever, because Americans won't take that less wage. And I've heard your argument, and you know what? I agree with you. But, and of course, I yell at the radio sometimes when I hear some of the things you say, but, regardless of this, I agree where you're going with this because I see it and I've experienced it myself in my own industry, but I also see it across the board as far as the whole of our country is together as far as that's concerned. But you know what? In the other country, in part of our countries where this kind of thing doesn't matter, Northeast or whatever, they just import people like left and right and say, well, you're going to go and clean my vet, you're going to go clean this hotel, and I'm only going to pay $8 an hour and get away with it because no one cares.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think that you should be paying people a living wage, and you shouldn't be importing people to undercut American employees. I mean, that might even seem left, but I mean, CEO salaries have continued to grow, profits have continued to grow, and it's on the backs of American workers, and I don't think that's right.
Well, I agree because you're importing slavery, and I'm sorry, it's
100%, 100%.
But it's true.
Well, no, and all these leftists say it on TV. Oh, Donald Trump, if you deport the Hispanics, was like the famous quote on The View. If you deport the Hispanics, who will clean your toilet? It's like, okay, is that really your argument?
Yeah, well, yeah, because we're circumventing the 13th Amendment, and I'm like, no, and that's the other thing too, Chris. I scream at the radio when I hear you guys talk about this. And it boils my blood because, you know what, I married a foreigner woman, but, she is here, she is doing a job a lot of people can't, which is teach different language and different culture. So are we, because we are a melting pot no matter how we call it, but for people who come here to take advantage of our situation and how we are as a generous people.
Yeah, I mean, I don't like the melting pot idea. I don't. I think that you should be assimilating to American culture. And then I would also say to your wife, like, listen, I'm glad that you found somebody you love, man. That's awesome. That's another job that's going to be completely irrelevant because of AI. I can do everything that your wife can do with a phone app or with an earbud in my ear now because of technology. Like, that's exactly the kind of stuff that is going to be eliminated because of AI, and that's exactly the reason why we don't need to be importing more people into the country.
Yeah, well, my disagreement with this is this, because whether we all agree with this or not, which of course AI is a terrible thing with this idea, because we all require human interaction with each other. When we remove the idea of fellowship, is that something else in 2012 or 2015, somewhere in there, where the trucking industry decided that, we were no longer going to sit around the trucking table and eat together and have a conversation. The word fellowship just evaporated finally out of existence. So we don't have that. We as a species need to interact with each other, including this idea of replacing a spouse with an AI. That doesn't replace anything except... I
wasn't saying that you're going to replace your spouse with AI. I'm saying that her job is replaced with AI. So saying that we need saying that we need to import some, and I'm just using it as an example. I'm not saying that your wife shouldn't be here. Or, I don't even know your wife. She was probably lovely, but I'm just saying like that job translator. That's exactly the kind of job that's going to be eliminated. So like the argument that we need to import people that or that we can't train up our own. Like I mean that's silly. That's so silly. I agree. But hey.
But it's just one more point. She's a teacher. She teaches her language and everything like this. As far as that is concerned, she is willing to be a part of the country. She wants to be a part and assimilate. She's not going to just sit here and refuse to assimilate, or whatever, because a lot of other people who come here. No, dude, I'm not trying to like harp on your wife. I was just talking about the job in general. There's a lot of people that come to this country that want to assimilate. There's a lot of people that come to this country though and want to wave the flag of the country that they're from and bring their own culture and their own traditions, and it's like that's not what you signed up for. Right. All right. Well, you know what, Chris, I'll let you be. I appreciate letting me take the call. I appreciate you, brother. Absolutely, man. I appreciate you calling in as well. Calling anytime. Let's go to Jason in Clarksville. What's up, Jason?
Hey, this conversation was pretty good about the immigration and all the things, but you made a good point. When you come to the country, from a bad country, you tend to bring some of those things with you. Yep. And I agree 100%. If you're an American, you should and you should take those ideas and embrace them and be an American, because it's very unique. I mean, some of these other countries, they don't allow you to do that. But, America, we're truly free. We're, I think, the only country, when you're born free with your ideas to go as far in life as you can go with your own work and initiative.
Yeah, 100%. And we see the opposite of that all the time. Ilhan Omar is a perfect example. She comes over here from Somalia. She would have never risen to the levels that she was able to rise to in America, yet she always tells us how terrible this country is. She should be kissing the ground that she walks on. That's the wrong kind of immigration. We don't need that. She should go home if Somalia is better, by all means. But we got off on this tangent because I called the police in the media response to the killing of Henry Novak racist, and Isaac thought it was prejudice. But he asked me if I had ever looked up the definition, and yes, racism is typically described as a form of prejudice and discrimination rooted in racial categorization. And the way it was categorized to the police was that there was a racial attack by a white man, and that's all they needed to know. And they didn't see the need to talk to Henry Novak about what happened. They didn't really see the need to check him and make sure he was okay. They knew nothing walking up on that scene, and they immediately put him in handcuffs as he's laying in a pool of his own blood on the ground. Will Kane was talking about it yesterday.
I have seen the body cam footage. It's harrowing. And I have to say, as a father of a 17-year-old boy, I felt sick.
That's Keir Starmer. Will Kane played that clip. Keir Starmer also said there's no proof of two-tier policing in the UK. Keir Starmer also took 181 days to respond to the killing of Henry Novak. It took him 5 days to talk about George Floyd. This is exactly what we're talking about.
Watching it, there are clearly serious questions that need to be addressed, not least how accusations of racism informed the decision-making in this case.
Again, your serious questions have been there since December when this incident happened, but Keir Starmer didn't feel the need to address the serious questions until it became a media firestorm.
The Prime Minister says he needs to know more about whether claims of racism affected the police response in this case. And that takes us back to 2020. Starmer took a knee in solidarity with the George Floyd protesters.
Stunning and brave, huh?
Thousands across the UK and, of course, the US filled the streets. The media paid attention. Politicians paid attention. Corporations paid attention. A white teenage kid is dying on a street in England, and you can hear him tell police he can't breathe, just like George Floyd in 2020. So why do some victims become symbols while others do not? We're starting to see protests, as we mentioned, on the streets of England. The podcast host Konstantin Kisin put it well. You will not see Henry's words stenciled on a mural. No politician will quote them in the Commons. No corporation will change its logo. The same establishment that made 4 words immortal when spoken by a black man in Minneapolis has met with the same 4 words, spoken by a white boy dying on a Southampton street, with what can only be described as a determined institutional silence. That silence is not neutral. It is a statement. It tells you exactly whose suffering the system has decided counts and whose does not.
Bingo. I mean, what else do we need to say about this? The system has decided that if you happen to be white, it doesn't matter. It's just the reality. Shout out to Will Kane for doing what he's doing. I think he's doing a great job over there. In Texas, Frisco, Texas, there was a protest, and somebody showed up with a digital billboard, and the digital billboard had a few faces on it. Henry Novak, Irina Zarutska, Austin Metcalf, and Charlie Kirk. And it says, "White Lives Matter." And it's about time somebody said it, because the media won't. They built entire statues and worldwide movements over George Floyd. The double standard that we're seeing is deafening, the person who posted the video wrote. Absolutely right. And there's going to be more double standards. We're already seeing it happen. There was a murder of a father of 4 in Milwaukee, Daniel McCrae. He's a white guy. You're not going to see this story on CNN. You're not going to see this story on MS Now. The New York Times isn't going to write up any long stories about it. because it doesn't fit the narrative. But it should be talked about. I'm a father of 4. I happen to be white. If I was murdered, I would like people to kick up some dust. The story here is absolutely insane. And again, you probably won't hear it anywhere else. A local news channel in Milwaukee did give it a blip, about a minute on their newscast.
Similar incidents in 2 weeks, all by who prosecutors say is the same man. Daniel McCrae, according to a criminal complaint we obtained, threatened officers at MATC back on May 5th, saying they were going to die. They say he later resisted arrest and an officer was injured. Jail records we obtained show he spent a week in jail. The Milwaukee County District Attorney's Office says it paused its review of the charges for more investigation and said it needed medical records. They didn't charge him at the time. The sheriff's office released him on May 12th. 6 days later, on May 18th, police arrested him in a parking garage near 9th and Wells. Police say a 32-year-old man was breaking into cars and beat a security guard. Prosecutors say McCrae is a battery suspect in this case, but no charges have been filed. Jail records show police arrested him for substantial battery and a probation violation. McCrae was out of custody for a week, not charged, before the alleged deadly beating of that security guard.
And James, before we let you...
So, again, if I assaulted a few officers, do you think that I would have been out of jail in a week? If you had assaulted a few officers, would you have been out of jail in a week, or is that the double standard that we're dealing with here? In Milwaukee, this guy... he gets let go by Milwaukee's DA, Kent Lovern, a Democrat, who chose not to charge Daniel for the previous assault. And then it leads to a murder a week later when he's back on the streets doing the exact same things that he's been doing, and he murders a security guard and a father of 4. Insane. Dylan Plouffe, he was 32. This is just another story. We could do this all day, by the way. When's the last time you said Irina Zarutska? When's the last time you talked about Austin Metcalf? We could go on and on and on. The media just tends to look the other way. It's 10:23. This is Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, what's up? It's Chris Hand here from my friend Aaron Parker over at Parker Safes and Vaults in Shelbyville. These guys are the absolute best, huge supporters of the show. And I do ask you, if you need a safe, to go buy one from my friend Aaron. They're our veteran-owned, family-run safe and vault door business right here in Middle Tennessee. A lot of us want a safe. We don't really know when to begin. We've been putting it off because we gotta figure out where to buy it, what to buy, how to get it installed, where to put it. This is exactly what Aaron and his sons are going to help you take care of. For starters, there's a video review for every safe they have in stock on Aaron's YouTube page. Search Parker Safes on YouTube. Find the safe that might be right for you. Then ask Aaron about it. You can give him a call and say, listen, I really like this safe. Where do I put it? How do I get it installed? They'll give you answers to every single one of your questions. They'll deliver it discreetly, install it professionally. These guys are total pros, and they got a ton of great safes in stock right now. Not safes built for marketing, safes built for protection from real brands like American Security, Rhino, Liberty, Heyman. Don't put it off any longer. Pick up the phone and call Aaron today. 931-842-6445. 931-842-6445. When you mention the Chris Hand Show, you'll get a free pistol safe when you buy a safe from Parker Safes and Vaults. Find them online, parkersafes.com. That's Joan Jones in the newsroom. My name is Chris Hand. It's 1028 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. We got Ray in Knoxville. He heard me talking about AI. He wanted to weigh in on it. What's up, Ray? How are you, man?
I'm good, Chris. Thanks for taking my call.
Absolutely. What do you got?
Well, all I wanted to say about AI is that I think it's a great idea, but the thing about it is we don't need to really rely on AI to function our daily lives. You know what I mean? I mean, it's a great idea to have it, but as far as people wanting to rely on it to do their daily activities that they do and all that stuff, I don't agree with it. I'm sorry. That's just how I feel.
So here's my thing on AI, and I think it's an important conversation to have, especially given all the news of data centers and stuff like that, which I'm not a huge fan of, right? When it comes to personal use of AI, I think it's like any other thing. Like it can use you or you can use it. If you turn it into a force multiplier, this is one of the greatest tools that entrepreneurs have ever been able to get. If you can turn it into a force multiplier, if you're a creative type, you can absolutely use it to your advantage. If you're sitting there having conversations like some people have, you've seen the horror stories of people like dating their AI bot. Like that's insane. Like nobody should be doing that. But if you use it the proper way, it absolutely is a tool that can be used for good.
Yeah, but if it starts taking over people's jobs that they normally have on a daily basis, that's when I disagree with that, because these people that graduate from college and stuff, it's going to be hard for them to find a job if they don't have AI experience, you know?
Yeah, well, and I would also say if you're going to college and you're taking an AI class, that's ridiculous, because what you're learning in class is already passed, right? That is one of the most useless classes you can take. What I would say though is it's inevitable. This is 100% inevitable. So you either have to learn how to use this tool to your advantage, or you're going to be lapped by some 20-year-old coming up behind you that has figured out how to do that. So, I mean, the choice is really yours. I'm not saying that you're wrong or right here, and I do get where you're coming from. But if you just ignore it, you're only going to be hurting yourself.
Exactly. Well, thanks for the call, Chris, and have a great day, bud.
Hey, thanks, Ray. I appreciate you calling in, man. Calling anytime. It's 10:30. This is Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
I'm Joan Jones with your top stories. And Metro Nashville Council has approved the first reading of a proposal that would restrict where data centers can be built. And it creates a buffer zone between those centers and homes, schools, churches, and more. Channel 4's Joylyn Bukovac on what council didn't get to last night.
A separate proposal that would have temporarily paused new data center development failed to advance after council members objected to suspending the rules for the late filed bill.
She reports that council will continue talking about data centers in the weeks ahead. Private sector hiring was over the top last month.
The ADP National Employment Report counted a record 122,000 new positions created in May, with employers of all sizes hiring. ADP says small companies, those with fewer than 20 employees, accounted for 49,000 of the new jobs, easily outpacing companies with over 500 workers.
ABC's Jim Ryan. And a young Nashvilleian star in the golf world is rising. 19-year-old Blades Brown has accepted a PGA Tour special temporary membership. The Tennessean reports it gives him the opportunity to accept unlimited sponsorship exemptions for the remainder of the tour season. So more access to more tournaments. He'll have to pick up enough points by the end of the season to secure a PGA card. Blades Brown skipped college to turn pro at 17 years old. That's the latest news. Stick around. Weather's next. I'm Joan Jones, WTN News.
Hey, what's up? It's Chris Hand here for my friends at United Structural Systems, more commonly known as USS. And let's be honest, foundation issues aren't something that homeowners want to deal with. Everybody's just like, I'm going to pretend that's not there. You'll see the crack. Maybe a door's not closing right. The driveway starts sinking, and you're either going to ignore it or you'll think, I'll get to it later. Spoiler alert, later actually means more expensive. And you should have your brain auto-translate that. I'll get to that later means I'll get to that when it's more expensive. This is why you need to call United Structural Systems today. You can trust these guys. They've been doing the work since 1994. And what they're going to do that's different from the others really revolves around their approach. They're not going to come with a sales guy worried about his quota, pushing scare tactics and overselling. That's not what they do. They're going to send an expert who's going to take the time to inspect your home, explain what's going on, and tell you the truth. Underline and put that in bold. If you don't need repairs, they'll say it. If you do, well, you'll understand exactly why. And they handle everything from foundation repair to crawl space work to concrete leveling. And they do it with systems that have been designed to last. They wouldn't have been in business since 1994 if the systems weren't lasting. Right now, you can get peace of mind now and pay later with 24 months, no interest financing through the end of June. So don't let foundation problems get worse while you wait. Visit USSTN.com or call 615-488-7855. 615-488-7855. It's United Structural Systems, USSTN.com.
The guaranteed offer is the simplest, least stressful way to sell your home. You go to our website, you fill out a quick form, we set an appointment, we bring you an all-cash offer. Literally, there's no lockbox on the front of your house, there's no showings, we pay all cash, we close in as little as 21 days, stress-free. We've helped thousands of homeowners just like you sell your home the hassle-free way with a guaranteed offer from Mark Spain Real Estate.
Hey, this is Pastor Al, and join us on Super Talk 99.7, Sunday evenings from 7 to 8. We're going to look at the news from a biblical perspective.
So in Chicago, you had a massive ICE raid. They were pinned in by a bunch of locals and some gang members as well. ICE was. And these guys, these gang members, they had weapons, high-powered weapons. And these ICE agents, they were blocked in by hundreds of these locals. And there's a guy on the roof pointing something at them as well. And so ICE ended up, to get out of this, because they're calling for backup and the whole thing, they ended up releasing some tear gas, and everybody starts freaking out because there is in Chicago, this is so insane, a temporary restraining order that does not allow tear gas to be released unless the ICE agents face an imminent threat or they give 2 prior warnings. Now, first of all, I don't believe that ICE would use tear gas unless it was an imminent threat. But the point is that they're making it harder and harder for ICE to do their job. So, of course, Gregory Bavino, and if you don't know who Bavino is, he is the head of this particular mission, right, in Chicago. And he is being accused of violating the restraining order that does not allow ICE to use tear gas unless agents face an imminent threat or they're given 2 prior warnings. So he hauls in, I love this, Bovino hauls in the tape that if you're watching on YouTube TV, Super Talk TV, you can see they bring in drone footage. They bring in these people making threats against the ICE agents and so forth. And so I love that he does bring in the receipts. And you know what? If that's what
36 minutes past the hour on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. My name is Chris Hand. The show's brought to you by Better Water LLC, water filtration systems, water softeners, betterwater.com. How you feeling about data centers? Is everybody excited? Is everybody hype? You big hype about data centers? 615-737-9986. How do you feel? Is that how you feel? That's your take? Is that the paper horn enthusiasm on data centers?
Ooh.
I mean, what do you think? Like, seriously, like you're Gen Z.
Yeah. I'm not a big fan of them, personally. I don't know. The threat of my future is on the line for a lot of stuff that kind of stuff, because like I'm a big push on editing and doing recording audio and working with people, and like I'm now going to be involved in voiceover stuff and whatnot. Who's to say in 5 years voiceover is done by AI created voices by just pumping a script into it and it pumps out the audio for you?
Yeah, I mean, dude, so I feel you. I do. Like, that part is scary. I think that on this side of the glass, there's always going to be that need for authentic human interaction.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I feel like, I don't know, and maybe I'm counting chickens before they hatch, and my job's going to be screwed too. That's very well within the realm of possibility.
But I could easily see my producer position disappearing completely and going, your mic turns off and the AI goes, cool, flip it back on and turns back on for commercials. It auto corrects because it hears you start talking, it pulls the music out of the way. It does a lot of that behind the scenes stuff for you.
To be fair, that would mean that Cumulus would have to invest in it.
True. True.
Sorry. I love Cumulus. We love our corporate overlords here. This is a big topic of conversation. I was listening to Matt Murphy's show yesterday, and I didn't think Matt was off base. I didn't think Matt was too far off point. He actually texted me late last night. I was like, late night text with Matt Murphy. It's like crazy. And he said, he said, what's your take on data centers? Aren't we doing this bleep to ourselves and then blaming companies that are just feeding our addiction? And I said, so this is what I do. I said, let me give you my quick take. And then I just rapid fire. I rapid fire a wall of text. I'm the texter that don't get me started because I rapid fire.
So anyways, I started blasting.
So, okay. And I do worry about this because I got young kids, right? And I don't want to tiptoe down the yellow brick road to the dystopian future of a surveillance state. Though you can make the argument we're already in a surveillance state. I mean, you see the traffic cameras going up. Did you vote for those? Did you? This is one of the reasons why I'm against traffic cameras. So this is my quick take to Matt Murphy, just so you know, just so you're aware. And then I definitely want you guys to weigh in, 615-737-9996. I said, and this is verbatim. This is how me and Murphy text. I said, quick take, it's going to lead to a China-style surveillance state. Same reason I'm against traffic cameras. But there is absolutely nothing we can do to stop it. We need to force them away from people and the small towns they invade. And if they are going to invade small towns, at least let me put lipstick on before I get and make the town's electric bill free or water bill free. These companies can handle that. They have the funds. And at the end of the day, I do understand that there's a national security argument on AI. And I also hate the dystopian future that it will undoubtedly create. And then I put in a meme. It's a cat walking on a fence because I'm on the fence. I hate it, but I understand it. I said I don't think it's black and white. I think we need to figure out a middle ground. And then I said, didn't Trump roll back federally protected land earlier this term? Right? Wasn't that this term? Will you Google that for me? I'm pretty sure he rolled back a bunch of protections on federally protected land. I was like, so why don't we put them there? But I heard Matt's segment yesterday, and I didn't think he was off base. I would love to be back in the 90s, but that would hurt us because China would become the number one superpower. That's just the reality. We have some major hotspots for AI data centers here in Tennessee. Memphis, Shelby County is the biggest boom area, especially for large-scale AI hyperscale projects. XAI Colossus is in multiple phases in Memphis, Boxtown, and nearby. Operational since 2025. Colossus is expanding rapidly, massive investment with on-site gas turbines for power. Other projects is EdgeCon X. I think that's how you say it. It might be Connex, Evoke, and Center Square expansions, and more planned. Memphis has 12 facilities total with significant under construction capacity. Nashville, the area that we're in, Gallatin, Davidson County, big booms. There's a strong concentration of facilities, 20 in the broader Nashville region. You got Meta with a large campus in Gallatin. That's 30 miles outside of Nashville. Multiple buildings on 900 plus acres, plans for up to 12 data halls. There's smaller mid-sized projects in or near downtown Nashville. We also got Franklin, Brentwood, Murfreesboro, North Nashville, Radius Data Centers, and others. Clarksville, Montgomery County. They're getting some. Google's digging up some dirt there. Major operational campus that was opened in 2019. Then there's other emerging areas. McMinnville, you guys are looking at a proposed 25 megawatt high density AI GPU campus, Hickson Data Center. Knoxville in East Tennessee, they're looking at it. Chattanooga, smaller co-location and proposed projects, Urban Story Ventures, and there's like scattered facilities statewide. I'm not like a huge fan. I'm not. But I do understand the reasoning behind it. If not us, then who? Well, the who would be China. And if you don't keep up in this new arms race, you're going to fall behind. That being said, I understand what keeping up looks like. And I understand that this could very well lead to a dystopian future, surveillance state, social credit score. And it makes me nervous, and I bite my nails about what that means for my kids and grandkids. And I think everybody should be thinking about that. So how do we get around it? I don't think there's any stopping this train. Like, there's no brakes on the happening. It's going to be happening. So what do? I think we have to make it more palatable for local communities to be dealing with this stuff. For starters, again, make these companies pay the electric bill in the immediate area. Make them pay the water bill in the immediate area for all the individuals in town. I think that would be a good start. Let us put a little lipstick on before we get screwed. You know, I like to look pretty when I'm about to get screwed. But then from there, we need strong legal protections. Maybe a constitutional amendment against the social credit score, against a mass surveillance state, against thought crime. This stuff needs to be protected and written into law fast. Because if we don't get on that soon, we are going to be screwed. I also have some fears and some worries about. I have some fears and some worries about. Are we building an infrastructure for our enemies? And when I say that, I am implicitly implying that the Democrat Party is our enemies. I think they hate us. I think that they don't care for us quite a bit. I think we saw what they did during COVID to those that were speaking out against government tyranny, and I can only imagine what that looks like down the road if we build out this infrastructure under the Trump administration and for some God-foreseen reason we lose the White House in 2028, what that looks like with the Democrat Party in power. It makes me nervous. It really does. That said, I'd love to get a temperature check on what you guys think. 615-737-9986. Am I completely off base? Am I doing too much fence sitting? You know, I'll be perfectly honest with you. I don't have all the answers here. And I'm man enough to admit, I don't know what I don't know. So fill in the blanks if you can help me fill in the blanks. Let's go to Robert in Georgia talking about AI. What's up, Rob? How are you?
Okay, good. I appreciate you taking my call.
Absolutely, man.
This AI thing, I drive a truck, and they tried to dispatch 500 trucks off this AI. It put a lot of drivers out of work. It put them in the poorhouse. So I don't think this AI thing's all cracked up with what they say it is.
Well, the low estimates are that within 10 to 15 years, 25 to 30% of the jobs are going to be eliminated. And I think that's low. I think it's going to be closer to 50, 55%, which it absolutely brings up another fear point here, not to push scare tactics, but you're going to have a generation of kids that have had jobs wiped out, and you're going to have a real socialist movement in this country where there is no more middle class. There's only very, very wealthy, very, very poor, and universal basic income is going to be very, very attractive, and we're going to slow walk into communism and socialism.
Yeah, I mean, if they can't keep 500 trucks running now, what's going to happen in 10 years? This country's going to go down if they don't try to figure this thing out.
Well, what would your suggestion be?
Let people work.
Let people work? So
Yeah.
So you can't have AI taking over any jobs? At all?
I wouldn't say at all, but I'm old school. I like to work.
No, I get that, and I'm not knocking you for it. Okay, so in your industry, what percentage of the drivers are foreign born and imported?
Oh, jeez.
Like, okay, so, but if they said we'll eliminate the foreign-born drivers, but only that percentage of AI trucks are going to be allowed on the road, is that palatable for you?
No.
No? Why not?
Yeah,
Both would be the same amount of American jobs lost, right?
Yeah. I mean, if you put all the foreign... If you put just the foreign trucks and everything, on the road, that's going to put everybody else out of work and out of the job.
I mean, well, we had a trucking expert in here that estimated 200 to 250,000 illegal truckers are on the road. Would you be comfortable with 200 to 250,000 AI trucks on the road, driverless trucks?
No, I would not.
You'd rather have the illegal alien truckers? If it was a one or the other.
No, you put the American truckers first.
But if it was, and I agree with that, I do. But if it's option A, option B, what would you prefer?
If you put autonomous, that's a computer.
Yep.
That's only the computer will only do what you tell it to. And that's my opinion. I mean. Don't ask me what the answer is. I mean, I've been doing this almost 40 years.
Yeah, I hear you, man, and I don't really have the answers either. But I appreciate your call, Robert, and I get where you're at. I mean, I'm talking to business owners who are like, guys, there are businesses where they literally have robots that can plug themselves in after a day of work. And then when the morning comes around, it's time to clock in, they unplug themselves, get into an autonomous vehicle, go to the job site. They're going to be able to do the job all day long. Then they're going to be able to come back and plug themselves back in. I mean, this stuff is coming whether we like it or not. That's just the reality. So what do the protections look like? How can we protect a vast number of American jobs? I don't have all the answers. I'm as curious as you are. I don't know what this looks like down the road. Let's go to Cameron. Let's go to Cameron on the road talking about AI. What's up, Cam?
How's it going, brother?
Good, man. What do you think?
I work in the beer industry myself, so I feel like a lot of my job is kind of protected. Not so much when it comes to like marketing and sales, but AI is not going to be, grabbing the cases and putting them in these stores. And I think one of the biggest things that we can do as, human beings to, try and help us out during this AI coming up is just try and get ahead of it in any way that we can. Try and get, more jobs and trades because, there's a lot of need for, electricians and plumbers and, jobs like that. And, it's not going to protect everybody, but I feel like that's something that we can do ourselves to try and, kind of get ahead of the curve and protect some of our jobs at least.
So, I've heard this a lot, and I do tend to agree that the trades are going to be the safest, right? One of the last ones to go. But if you're watching on YouTube right now, I got a video where Tesla has a completely autonomous assembly line where they are folding up and packaging clothes. These Optimus robots, they are 100% going to be able to jump out of a truck, grab a case of beer, and bring it into a store and drop it off.
Yeah, I hope I'm not around for that. I'm young. I'm probably gonna, see it in my lifetime. But
how old are you? How old are you? If you don't mind me asking.
27.
So what are you doing? So you're on the young side of this. What are you doing today to make AI a force multiplier for you and your business, as opposed to falling behind the curve?
Well, in our company, where I work, it's more of a small family-owned business, and as far as using AI for marketing and sales, I've been telling my bosses, using that, it's going to either move the company in a better direction or in a worse one. But I think what you said earlier, where using, what you say is
Force multiplier.
having the human connection.
Yep.
Yeah, I feel like that gets a lot farther than I feel like AI will, especially with store owners and just having a connection with the people that we deliver to.
Yeah.
I
I get that until the distributor with the robot delivery guy is 25% less.
Right.
You know what I mean? At the end of the day, it's going to come down to money. Figure out how to make it a force multiplier for you, Cam. I appreciate the call. I don't have all the answers. I'm being perfectly honest with you. Let's go to George in Spring Hill. What's up, George?
Hey, I kind of see it in multiple tracks. I kind of see the AI revolution being kind of in the same light as the Industrial Revolution. Remember how emails got rid of faxes?
Yep.
Automobiles got rid of carriages.
Yep.
That's going to be the same thing. The advice I would give to the previous caller is figure out how to fix robots, because there's going to be a job. And then on the other side, I see a real national security issue. It's kind of like an arms race, but with technology, not nuclear, like we went through back in the Cold War area. And we have to keep pace with what our adversaries have to do. So, as it relates to the oversight that you brought up, I think we have to strengthen and be more specific with our Fourth Amendment rights of search and seizure. And let's define it so that from a technology standpoint, we have freedom still intact. So those are kind of where I'm coming from. From a data center standpoint, the technology is getting to the point to where you're going to have small SMRs, which are small modular reactors, nuclear reactors that are going to be kind of on site. That technology is growing pretty fast.
Yep.
And they're also moving forward with using less water by having a closed loop water system. So it's where you're not really having to deal with that issue. And I think it should be a national project that our government starts upgrading our electric grid, because our electric grid has been an absolute nightmare for the last 20 years. And it should become a national project that we upgrade the system.
Yeah.
Protect all of it.
I hear you, George, and I appreciate the call. We'll take some more calls on the other side. I appreciate you guys weighing in as always. It's 10:56. This is Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, what's up? It's Chris Hand here for the Wellness Institute of Nashville. You want to get back to a pain-free life. You want to do it with the best in the business. It's Dr. Mitchell over at the Wellness Institute. These guys are absolutely untouchable. Dr. Mitch is always coming up with the latest and greatest tech, and he's done it again with the incredible new Medical Bay 1. Picture this. You sit down and relax in what feels like an Artemis medical spaceship. You're going to get massaged. You're going to be hit with full-body red and near-infrared lasers, and they're going to use photon wavelengths to stimulate your stem cells to regenerate your own tissue. This is going to light up your cells because that's exactly how God made them to react. About half your visit will be just soaking up that next-level healing. The other half, well, it's their powerful non-surgical spinal decompression. What they'll never offer is surgery, opioids, painful injections. That's not their style. They want to get you back to a pain-free life without any of that. And they don't want to break the bank either. Right now, they're offering the Epic Spinal Special, $33 off each visit. Epic Healing, only available from the Wellness Institute of Nashville. Go to painisbad.com to learn more. That's painisbad.com. Or you can pick up the phone and talk to a real person. 615-246-5009. 615-246-5009. Your pain-free voyage is a call or a click away. Painisbad.com.
So in Chicago, you had a massive ICE raid. They were pinned in by a bunch of locals and some gang members as well. ICE was. And these guys, these gang members, they had weapons, high-powered weapons. And these ICE agents, they were blocked in by hundreds of these locals. And there's a guy on the roof pointing something at them as well. And so ICE ended up, to get out of this, because they're calling for backup and the whole thing, they ended up releasing some tear gas, and everybody starts freaking out because there is, in Chicago, this is so insane, a temporary restraining order that does not allow tear gas to be released unless the ICE agents face an imminent threat or they give 2 prior warnings. Now, first of all, I don't believe that ICE would use tear gas unless it was an imminent threat. But the point is that they're making it harder and harder for ICE to do their job. So, of course, Gregory Bavino, and if you don't know who Bavino is, he is the head of this particular mission, right, in Chicago. And he is being accused of violating the restraining order that does not allow ICE to use tear gas unless agents face an imminent threat or they're given 2 prior warnings. So he holds in.
It is 11 a.m. I'm Jay Harper with your top stories. We'll get you a pretty nice-looking weather forecast. That's coming up. Ukraine strikes Russia deep within its own territory in a major city that's gearing up for an economic conference organized by Vladimir Putin. Video of the drone strikes shows plumes of smoke billowing above St. Petersburg. ABC's Patrick Reevell has more.
Ukraine is now mounting long-range drone strikes like this weekly, and Russia appears largely powerless to stop them. That is increasingly bringing the war home to Russians, and we are seeing a shift in the mood in Russia. Doubts about the war are leaking out. That doesn't mean that Vladimir Putin is close to stopping the war, but it is denting his sense of invulnerability.
We now come back to the states where the U.S. Supreme Court has given the go-ahead to allow a congressional map in Alabama to be used. That map was previously blocked by lower courts, even from judges who were Trump appointees. But in an overnight 6-3 decision, the high court's conservative majority allowed the maps to be used. We hear now from ABC's Devin Dwyer.
The bottom line is this is the culmination of years of litigation in Alabama. It is now removing one of those 2 majority black districts, a seat held by Democrats, and is the latest indication now that these race-based politics, including those that protect minority voters, are starting to give way to a new era.
Back here in the mid-state, you may have gotten an Amber Alert last night on your phone. Every time I get one of those, I jump. But, yeah, that did happen. It was in Clarksville last night where police did find a missing 3-year-old boy. Guess where they found him? In the attic of his own home. He was heavily concealed, say police. This daycare worker tells Channel 4 the boy is in the foster care system.
He is sweet. He is funny. He is compassionate. If you're ever feeling sad, he'll come up to you. What's wrong? Like, let me give you a hug. He's just really one of the sweetest kids.
The boy was taken to the hospital to get checked out. Apparently, all is well there. And finally, Lebanon police used a license plate reader to track down a man who said he was going to shoot up Music Row. Channel 4's Marius Payton tells the world that Matthew Hibbard, he planned to buy a gun in Texas and come back to Nashville and shoot him up.
Police say Matthew Hibbard's family notified them that they were concerned about his mental health. Police tracked Hibbard down in this black Volvo yesterday afternoon on Lebanon Road. Police say 23-year-old posted multiple videos on his Instagram account where he named several musicians that he was upset with.
He is now charged with a threat of mass violence. That is the latest news. We'll get you a weather forecast up next. I'm Jay Harper, WTN News.
Hey, Jerry, guess who's in the Epstein files?
What?
Kramer.
Are you willing to end this conflict with Iran charging tolls for passage through the strait?
Us charging tolls?
Iran.
What about us charging tolls?
Is that something you're considering?
I'd rather do that than let them have them, right? Why shouldn't we? We're the winner. We won, okay? They are militarily defeated. The only thing they have is the psychology of, oh, we're going to drop a couple of mines in the water, all right? No, we have a concept where we'll charge tolls, okay? I thought you meant us.
It's 11:08 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, how are you? I'm Chris Hand. The show is brought to you by Better Water LLC, water filtration systems, water softeners, betterwater.com. So we've been talking about AI. I'm getting a lot of texts, okay? A lot of texts. And it's about, well, the jobs are going to be eliminated. Then there's going to be no money. Who's going to buy anything? And I think that everybody needs to wrap their heads around the fact that this could be the scariest, most terrifying implication of AI. You're absolutely right. You are 100% correct. If jobs are eliminated, nobody's going to have any money. AI is going to create a massive wealth disparity, bigger than what we have already in this country. The middle class has been squeezed. You think that it's been squeezed dry? No, my friends. It is going to be squeezed even more. So what does that do? Well, nobody will be able to buy anything, you say. This is the scariest part. It's not that the middle class is going to get squeezed. We can figure that out. The scariest part is that this is going to create a moment for an AOC type candidate, a Mamdani type candidate. Andrew Yang attempted this a few years back with the Yang Gang and actually got some momentum. It's going to create a candidate that will be able to push universal basic income. That is the slow walk into the communistic hellhole that nobody wants in this country. You are going to have millions upon millions upon millions of individuals who can't make ends meet because jobs have been eliminated, and universal basic income is going to be pushed at rates we have never seen before. And there is going to be a massive group of people who say this is the only way forward. And with that comes mass surveillance. With that comes the social credit system. And then we're China. That's the biggest fear. That's my biggest fear. It's not even like the jobs being eliminated is one thing. I think that if you are ahead of the curve, you can learn how to use AI today as a force multiplier, especially if you're an entrepreneur, and figure out how to do with just you the jobs of 10 people. You could probably do that today with AI. And I do this a lot. I do. I use AI quite a bit. But I use it as a force multiplier. But there are people that aren't going to figure it out. And then they're going to be stuck there with no other way out. And universal basic income is going to be such an attractive option that we're going to have that Democrat socialist that is going to get elected on that platform. That's scary. That to me is one of the scariest things about AI. Got a couple people waiting on the line to talk. Steven's been holding for a minute. I appreciate you holding, Steve. What do you got?
Yeah, I'm with you, man. But you know what? If those robots knew how to unfold a wallet and go pay the bills and pay their taxes, I'm all for it. It would get rid of a lot of people that are working in this country that we don't need. But Congress is going to have to put some ropes on that if it's going to start affecting the economy to where the robots are taking people's jobs away in mass numbers. It's going to have to be reeled in. But I'm with you. Like you said, man, we're seeing these candidates. The demon craps are bringing out new people more and more every day. And we can't let that freak show take over at the end of Trump's reign. So I'm confident. I think we got enough good stuff going on. We got the power of the purse as long as we have the Senate. Definitely the House is probably going to become a freak show real fast. Yeah, technology's great. I saw actually a battery tractor pulling a Amazon load going into San Antonio about a month back, and there was no door on the side. The driver was sitting in a cockpit in the middle. It was a small, all battery. And I think we're seeing change. We're seeing a lot of things happen. But, yeah, it's up to our government to reel that stuff in, man, and make sure that we're going to flourish, you know.
I'm with you, man, and I appreciate the call. Let's go to Jack in Clarksville, who's also been holding for a minute. I appreciate it, Jack. What do you got?
Hey, so I'm kind of on the fence with you guys with this as well. I'm actually in the maintenance repair business, and I can understand from a standpoint how AI can actually implement for my business and help improve in certain areas. But it also, if it gets to a point to where we are relying on robots to be able to do certain things, that could come into play where, you know, how it's hard to find good hands and helping people to help. And if you have a program like that that can actually do a job for you or help you do certain aspects of, you know, if you're doing shingles or you're doing something to that aspect, you know, it takes the human factor out of it, but it also gives you an edge so that you can do it, because you're going to have to be on one side of this or the other. Let's say you're on a business where it's a CPA business and you've got 10 employees. Well, you can knock out 8 of those employees and use AI, but then you're going to make more money as the owner, and the 2 employees that you keep on are going to make more money in that aspect of it. But then you got to look, because I've been doing electronics for almost 40 years, and I've seen how it's changed from, you know, tube televisions to flat screen plasmas to where we're at now. all this stuff is coming. The younger generation is going to be able to adapt to this stuff a whole lot better than the older generation is. And I'm hoping that there's going to be some checks and balances on how this AI stuff is going to work in our everyday lives, because if we don't, like I said, it's going to wipe out the middle class. And like my wife is a VP, she actually has 12 employees now who do underwriting letters, and they were going to implement AI into that platform, but they didn't because of, I guess, the HIPAA violations or something of that aspect. So that they won't allow them to use any of that AI to help write those letters. So there are checks and balances in certain aspects of it, but if we don't get on one side or the other, you're
going to get left behind. Yeah.
You're going to be left behind, and you're going to be one of those that's going to like, how am I going to make any money?
So you said, so you're running your own business.
I am running my own business.
So in your day-to-day, what are you using AI for that is your force multiplier?
So I can go into, let's say I've got a vacant unit. I can go in and I can ask AI, I can take pictures of this and say, hey, give me a breakdown of what it's going to cost for me to do the drywall work, replace the flooring, paint.
So it's doing all your estimates.
It'll actually give you a spit out of that, whatever it is that you need to do, and add some to it that you might even miss.
So how long would an estimate on average take you before this?
It would take you at least a couple of hours.
And now you're getting it in 30 seconds.
30 seconds. And I'll give you even one more. I wrote a song. I'm not a songwriter, but I wrote a song, and you put pen to paper, and I'm like, how am I going to put music to this? Well, I got a buddy of mine that's in the music business, and I said, hey, man, what can you do as far as the music aspect of this? I promise you within 30 seconds I had music to this song.
It's crazy.
It's crazy.
Yeah, it's absolutely
coming,
bananas.
But we're going to have to adapt. If we don't adapt, you're going to be left behind. But that's the future of our younger generation, and if they don't get into this and head off and get to it right now,
yep,
they're going to be screwed.
Yeah, no, I'm 100%. You have to. You can't. There's only two industries where you're classified as a user, and it's when you're dealing with drug dealers or when you're dealing with big tech. So like, you can't let them use you. You have to figure out how to use it to your advantage. If the phone in your pocket is sucking up more time in your day than you're using it to be productive, like, you are the user, and you're failing at that.
Right, and that goes back to the technology aspect of from people that still use flip phones versus people that are using smartphones today.
Yep.
You're going to have to adapt one way or the other. If not, everybody else is going to pass you by, and you're going to be like, going, what do I do?
Yeah, I hear you, man. Hey, I appreciate the call, Jack. Great call. Thanks, man. I got a text here from 1972. He said, can we download the Constitution and eliminate Congress and allow AI to run the government? If so, I'm for it. Yeah, me too. Brian wants to talk about universal income. Hey, Brian, what's up, man?
Taillights doing okay for you? You want to check them out?
They're fine, yeah.
Brian's getting an oil change. We'll come back to Brian. Somebody check on Brian. Let's go to Daniel in Nashville. What's up, Dan?
Hey, Chris. How are you?
Good. Tell me about your family business and how you guys are using AI.
Yeah, so we have family business, many locations in Nashville, Kentucky, Alabama, 300 employees, but we're mom and pop. It's the family running it. We use it in every aspect, from the marketing to analyzing sales data and trends, company memos. I mean, you name it, it's allowing us to be 10 times more efficient, not have to spread payroll dollars for positions to make an image here and there. And that allows us to pay the employees that we have on staff more, be more efficient with the work, and essentially grow, not just stay where we are. The whole idea is to grow and offer more and more jobs. I am a little scared of it. I've got family members and wife that hates it, being a natural writer. But yeah, I love it. I think it's an awesome tool. We just got to have some rules and regulations around it.
What would you do if you were the guy that was writing the rules?
Some of the rules that are already implemented in the programs I use, like privacy, and public data. But I don't know. I don't have a good answer for that. It's one of those things that I'm afraid, just like me, get really excited about it. It's growing so fast. We don't put a lot of thought into it. And next thing you know, like you said earlier, dystopian society, and we go, oh crap, we should have thought about this earlier.
Yeah, I mean, and I appreciate the call, Dan, and good luck with your family business. I hope you guys are super successful and you can hire tons of employees. But this is one of my fears. I think the opposite is true too. Like while there's all of this scary unknown, there's positive unknown too. This stuff is going to create jobs that we can't really wrap our heads around right now. It just is. How many? I mean, jury's still out. I don't know. But nobody could have envisioned what the internet was going to look like in 1992 today, you know? I mean, even if you look at the guys during the dot-com bubble, they didn't envision where we would be in 2026. So it's going to create opportunity. It's just about staying in front of it so that way you're on the right side of that opportunity and not the losing side of that opportunity. Billy in Nashville, what's up, man? How are you?
Hey, how you doing, Chris?
I'm good. What do you got?
I've been listening to you since day one.
My man, I appreciate you. Thank you.
Let's just say we get this AI going, and they're using the data centers. Wouldn't that be a perfect target for a terrorist attack?
Yeah, I mean, well, I think that an EMP attack has been a big fear in this country for a while. I mean, I don't know if that necessarily makes it more of a fear or less of a fear, but it's still there. I feel like it's omnipresent.
They're in small areas too, where it can't handle that. Like just like the Christmas bombing in downtown Nashville took out the AT&T. You know, it could be the same thing.
Yeah, but I mean, I think you could do that. You could make the same argument right now with our electrical grid. I feel like that's more of a sitting duck than the AI stuff. At least right now. I mean, 20 years from now, it could be a completely different picture.
Well, they're getting all the jobs that go into AI, and then a terrorist attack hits the data centers. Where does that leave us?
Yeah, I mean, well, like I said, I think we'd be fine for right now. But 20, 30 years down the road, we would be very vulnerable to something like that.
It'd be a different critter then, wouldn't it?
It absolutely would, Billy. You're not wrong. Hey, I appreciate the call, man. We'll take some more calls on the other side before we jump into the lightning round. I got quite a few people. Brian, Ron, Matt, John. We'll get to you guys next. Hang out with us, 1121. This is Super Talk, 99.7 WTN. What's up? It's Chris Hand here from my friends at Zero Res Nashville. There's no robots coming to clean your carpet. Not with the guys at Zero Res. Not yet, at least. They're sending real people to your home, and they're cleaning your carpets in a legit, real way, the Maha way of carpet cleaning. You understand, I got 4 kids, 2 dogs, me and my wife. We can't keep up with the carpets. The kids are in and out all summer long, and they track in mud, they track in dirt. The dogs do the exact same thing, and we need to clean it up from time to time. We like Zero Res because they are the Maha approach to carpet cleaning. These guys don't use harsh chemicals. They don't leave soap residue behind. It actually dries faster than any carpet cleaning I've ever had done before. And you're going to agree with every statement I just made when you get your carpets cleaned from Zero Res. They're not just going to look insanely clean. They're going to stay clean longer. And that stuff matters when you got kids running in and out of the house all day long. Right now is a perfect time to do it. Everybody's at the house. You might have family coming in to visit over the summer. Maybe you're going on vacation and you have a neighbor come by and let Zero Res in while you're away. Whatever the case may be, these guys are the absolute best. 4,800 Google reviews, a 4.9 rating. A lot of families around town like them. It's not just my wife and myself. You're going to like them too. 615-535-9376. 615-535-9376. Call them today and book. Ask them about their 2- and 3-room specials. You're going to save some money. You're going to love your carpets. ZeroResNashville.com.
The Nashville Fire Department, they're on the scene of a downtown gas leak. Everything's contained at the moment, but we'll get you the latest on that. Also, a new jobs report out there. We'll give you that as well. That's coming up at 11:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
That's Jay Harper in the newsroom. My name is Chris Hand. Show's brought to you by Better Water LLC. We've been talking about AI. Got a few guys on the line that want to talk about it. Let's go to our friend John in Shelbyville. What's up, John? How are you?
Hey, Chris. Doing good, brother. Hey, listen, one of the things that have always bothered me about AI and robots, and this is, I guess, I don't know how far back AI goes, but I know robots go back for decades.
Yep.
Is I've noticed that the more things, the more jobs that machines do for us, that's the less things that our young people learn how to do for themselves. I've noticed it in the last 15, 20 years, we're having less and less people, or we were having less and less people in the trades because they were just, for some reason, whatever the reason was, they weren't learning how to do these hands-on type jobs. And I just feel like the more in the direction of AI we go, that's just going to be a trend. It's just going to keep getting worse and worse.
Yeah, and then we lose everything, and then it's like we're back to the Stone Age one day if an EMP goes off.
And I've got a friend who is a robotics engineer over here at Nissan, and I talk to him daily, and he is telling me they go down constantly. And the cost of keeping these things up is just insane. So I don't really see, how this is going to be beneficial as far as replacing human, employees. That's probably above my pay grade.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's just a cost analysis, right? Like how many employees do they replace? How much would those employees make? How much do the robots cost, and how much is the upkeep? And that's just there's an analysis there that we have to do.
How much can those robots put out versus the human element as far as production?
Well, if we're not factoring in fatigue, if we're not factoring in breaks, if we're not factoring in mealtime, I could see a world where the robots make more financial sense for a CEO or an overlord there.
Right.
One
more quick thing.
Yes, sir.
The automotive industry, when we're talking about dealerships, and if you've ever wondered why it costs so much more to get an automobile fixed at a dealership, whether it be a passenger vehicle or a semi-truck, which I'm in the trucking business, they use an AI-generated, what they call a book, quote, unquote, to do this for them. And if it calls for, say, 5 hours of labor, they will charge you the 5 hours of labor that the AI-generated book tells them, even if it takes, say, 30 minutes or an hour. And you'll sit there if you stay there with the vehicle. But they will use that time and make you sit there, and they will charge you for whatever the book tells them, regardless of how long it takes them. So I'm not, as far as the estimates, I heard somebody talking about the estimates. And I don't know what he uses. His deal he uses may be completely different. But there's a lot of, and I'm sure there's some positive sides. Again, that's above my pay grade. But
yeah.
I see a lot of negative in it. And, of course, I'm old school, too, and I don't want them anywhere near me.
No, I hear you, man, and I appreciate the call. When, he talks about losing those skills, you ever hear the theories of ancient civilizations that were far more advanced than we are? When you start seeing the way AI is advancing, like that stuff, I'm not saying I believe in it, but it does make them more interesting. And it feels like it's foreshadowing where you could have an EMP, you could have a nuclear war on a global scale. And if all the tech was wiped out, yeah, we're back to flint and steel, my friends. Like quickly, right? Is that just me? Do you think that too? You've heard the theories.
Oh yeah, I think it all the time.
But I don't necessarily believe in the theories. Although there are some Egyptian hieroglyphics that look an awful lot like helicopters.
Just saying.
I'm just saying. I don't know. I'm just saying. The expert said that's just two hieroglyphs smushed together.
Allegedly.
We don't know. I'm not an expert in hieroglyphics. I don't know. Maybe I don't need to tell you that. Maybe I do. 11:31 Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
"31 minutes past 11 a.m. I'm Jay Harper with your top stories. A full forecast coming up. The Nashville Fire Department, they're on the scene of what they're calling a major gas leak at 10th Avenue North. That occurring this morning. The fire department reporting that a construction crew there struck a gas line. The construction site and a nearby YMCA have been evacuated as a precaution. Piedmont Gas, they're on the scene of the leak. They're working to locate the source and repair it, of course. Nashville Fire, though, saying the situation, they've got it contained, and crews continue to monitor conditions there. And also, they are asking that you try to avoid that area if you are out and about while they try to get things figured out there. The Trump administration, they dropped their plans to create a nearly $2 billion fund that was billed as an anti-weaponization fund. The fund would have offered compensation to those who could claim they were wronged by the Biden administration. We hear now from ABC's Rachel Scott.
All of this was part of an IRS settlement where the president agreed to drop his $10 billion lawsuit. But despite dropping the fund, the administration has made it clear it is still keeping an order that bans the president and his family from audits of already filed tax returns. Democrats labeling that blanket immunity. A judge in Florida is now reviewing the deal.
Well, the job of finding a job apparently a little easier last month. That's according to payroll processor ADP. The company's monthly employment report found a record number of new private sector positions were created in the month of May.
122,000 positions opened up, with 8 out of 10 sectors that ADP looks at showing gains. Education and the healthcare sector led the hiring spree with 57,000 positions. The payroll processor says median annual pay is now at $61,500, a 4.4% increase from May of last year.
That's ABC's Jim Ryan reporting. That is the latest news. Weather's next. I'm Jay Harper, WTN News.
Hey, what's up? It's Chris Hand here for my friend Shane Ring over at Cover Nash. Are you paying too much for your health insurance? Do you know if you're paying too much for your health insurance? Listen, one phone call to Shane Ring is going to set you straight. He might tell you, no, you got a good price. You're good to go. He might tell you that you are paying for junk, overpriced insurance. Now, if that's the case, you got to talk to Shane, and he's going to help you work with over 75 top-rated companies to find you the best insurance plan for your budget and your needs. Maybe you don't have any insurance. You missed open enrollment. You don't have to wait till the fall. That's a myth. That's what the big guys want you to think. You can get covered today. Maybe you lost your job coverage. Well, that sucks, but Shane can help you out today. Maybe you are just sick of the overpriced junk insurance. Again, Cover Nash partners with over 75 top-rated insurance companies. They'll find you the best plan for you and your needs, including brand new nationwide PPO options with deductibles as low as $250, flat $50 doctor visits, ACA-compliant plans with free preventative care. Whether you're an individual, you got the whole family you need to cover, you're self-employed, you're doing the 1099 stuff, or you're running an entire small business and you got employees to take care of, Shane has something for you. Stop overpaying, stop waiting, stop thinking you're stuck. Go to covernash.com or pick up the phone and call Shane today. 615-465-0023. That's 615-465-0023, or find him online, covernash.com. 38 minutes past the hour on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. My name is Chris Hand. The show's brought to you by Better Water LLC. We are going to jump into the lightning round. I got 2 more calls on AI that I wanted to get to. These guys have been holding for a minute, so I want to make sure I get to them. Brian wanted to talk about universal basic income. What's up, Brian?
Hey, Chris, how you doing?
Good, man. What are your thoughts?
I heard you talking. Well, I heard you talking about communism, and unfortunately, we had like 3 different generations go through school where they were taught that this country's racist and that communism would be so much better. But communism is about like unions. It celebrates mediocrity, it stifles innovation, and it's full of corruption. And I would hate to see this country go down that road.
And, I mean, you're going to have. It usually leads to mass murder of civilians.
Yes, sir. We're the firing squad. Yeah, it's our way or the highway. Yeah, it's. I don't know what can be done about it other than open people's eyes. Hopefully, when it does happen and it goes down that road, people will reject the long lines and lack of product and high hyperinflation. All you get out of that is what the Democrats want: an elite ruling class.
100%.
They don't care about selling this country.
I couldn't agree with you more, but my fear is that with the AI stuff strangling the job market, which I do think it's going to. I mean, I said this earlier, but the low estimates 25 to 30% of the jobs within 10 to 15 years. The high estimates 50 to 55. So you're gonna have the wealth disparity grow even bigger, and then you're gonna have somebody come in and say, "We'll get you universal basic income," and it's like it's gonna be the road is gonna be paved with these promises of lifting people up, and people are going to buy it, hook, line, and sinker.
Well, Chris, I'm in IT, and I can tell you that from my standpoint, at this stage in the game, everyone's getting all in an uproar over nothing, because it is just a tool at this point, a tool to help you do your job. That's it. At this stage in the game, it can't replace your job. Whenever it becomes the next level up, where it's as smart as a human, yeah, that's when you need to really start worrying.
But okay, now you tell me if I'm off base. But I have heard that they're slow trickling it out because of what it would do to the economy overnight if they unleashed what they already have.
Well, maybe they have more than what I'm aware then.
Like I've heard that it's essentially it's already there. But if they open the floodgates, it would be disastrous. Like you almost have to slow drip this thing.
Yeah, well, I mean, if they've already got the next level out there, I mean, it could replace a human. Yeah. I mean, there's no competition with it. I mean, you don't have to pay it. It can do it flawlessly. It doesn't make mistakes. It does what it's been trained off. That's the dangerous thing. Like with ChatGPT and everything, you ask it a question about politics, and it can give you a liberal answer, and then you can ask it, why is your answer so liberal? And it'll come back and say, well, if my answer is liberal, it's because of the data set that I've been trained with.
Yep. I mean, you're only as good as the input of the data, and you're only as good as your prompt.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Hey, Brian, I appreciate the call, man, and thank you for holding as long as you did. Thank you. Elon on the Optimus robots. I mean, these are coming.
But has a real brain. It's like the Wizard of Oz, Tin Man. Is that a heart or a brain? One of the two. So, in order for robots to be useful, they have to be intelligent. They have to be able to do useful things just by asking, and you have to be able to make a large number of them at an affordable price. This is what we can do. We have the only company with all the ingredients for making intelligent humanoid robots at scale is Tesla.
So I think the robots are going to start creeping in, especially if the birth rate crisis continues. You're going to have more, and we're already seeing this in a lot of Asian countries, more elderly dying individuals than you do have young people. So there's going to be a need for supplementation there. And then if an insurance company, and I think this is one of the ways it's going to creep in, if an insurance company has to pay a visiting nurse, visiting angels, right? If you got to pay visiting angels $200,000 a year, but I can buy an AI robot for $60,000, one time, and then that thing can travel around house to house to house and fold your laundry, do your dishes, clean up everything. That's one of the ways this is going to creep in. At least the robot side. That's my opinion. I don't know. It's just uninformed. That's the way I see it creeping in. I got one more call on AI, and then we'll jump into the lightning round. Let's go to Matt in Fairview. What's up, Matt?
All right, brother. We need a baseball update eventually. But listen.
Okay. Let me do the baseball update real quick. Everything has been rained out, and every game has been pushed back. But we will have games later on this week.
Can't wait.
Me too.
All right, but there's two reasons it's not going to happen. One is I think corporate America learned their lesson when they tried outsourcing to foreigners their customer service. And as soon as you hear that line and you're just like, your name's not John, I can tell you that. You just walk away from them and quit doing business with them. You know what I mean? I want to speak to an American on American soil. The same thing's going to happen with this AI nonsense. As soon as you realize you're dealing with a machine that can't recognize the numbers you're reading them, and it's and keeps getting it wrong, you're just going to go somewhere else to do it. And if you don't think that one delivery driver or one Amazon delivery guy, his kids missed Christmas because a robot took his job, he's not going to run that thing over with a truck. He's not going to go shoot it up. He doesn't care. Oh, he threatened me, took my job. Bye-bye. People aren't going to put up with it, bud. You're not killing a human, you're killing a freaking machine, and that's good. That's all good.
You might be right. I think that actually opens the door for the other side of it, which is the universal basic income. If a guy misses Christmas and then a candidate comes around and says, listen, we'll do $150,000 a year universal basic income, and you won't be charged with vandalism and have to spend time in prison and deal with fines and stuff and miss next Christmas because of the court cases and the prison time, I think that you'll see people welcoming in that socialism faster than they'll rise up against the robots.
Where's the money come from?
Well, it's a good question. They're just printed out of thin air, probably.
Yeah, you know what? They won't live very long either. We'll see how long the Seattle mayor isn't lasting long at all, and Mondami won't make it his full term.
Maybe.
Brother, be good. Keep up the good work. I'll talk to you soon.
Hey, appreciate you, Matt. All right, 11:45. We got time for it. Let's jump into the lightning round.
It's the lightning round with Chris Hand.
We do it every day at this time. All the stories that wouldn't fill up a whole segment, all the stories that we ran out of time to talk about, we want to talk about anyway. We like to call it the lightning round. All right, first story in the lightning round. I know. It's tough. We celebrate Nuclear Family Month here in Tennessee, and we're grateful for that. Shout out to Bill Lee. That's something he does. He's the best. He's based in that area, and we salute him for that. In Boston, they're doing something a little different. They're doing things a little different. They're raising the pride flag over City Hall, and they're singing carols as they do it. They're not even singing good. I had to deal with it, so you have to deal with it. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. I think it's important to point out, you know that how the new pride flag has the triangle?
Yeah.
You know how that got designed, right?
How? Trolls
on 4chan.
Oh, really?
So there were trolls on 4chan that they said the pride flag wasn't inclusive enough, and they came up with an epic troll because if you put that 4 ways next to each other, that triangle turns into a swastika. That's what they did.
Interesting.
Literally, I remember the thread like it was yesterday. And then it seeped in to the pride culture.
Into the mainstream.
Because, diversity is our greatest strength. So all you had to tell them was that, listen, you're not being inclusive enough, and they had to continue the virtue signaling. But I don't know, man. You tell me. Like, if I'm gonna listen to some bad singing, like, it better be at a school assembly, right? Where the kids are doing it. That's where I want to listen to bad singing. Speaking of which, I got a school assembly where kids are singing.
What
Oh, no. Sorry. This one's a public school in Minneapolis. It really is. That's actually a public school in Minneapolis. I don't know what they're singing. I'm sure it's wholesome. Not Mogadishu. Minneapolis. What? Which one? Okay. Which one's worse? Does anybody know? How about you guys weigh in on the text line? Would you rather hear the LGBTQ choir singing Somewhere Over the Rainbow? Or would you rather hear the kids in Minneapolis?
The one thing I will say, there were people actually in the audience there to enjoy the stuff for the kids.
Listen, the
supporting
children,
their children.
The children are our future. It's actually pretty catchy.
Yeah. Nobody asked for the pride stuff.
No. Hey, got another story for you here in the lightning round. I like Theo Von a lot. I'm a big fan of Theo Von. His podcast is great. I really do like it. He's here in Nashville. I don't know him. I'd give him a high five. I'd be down to give Theo Von a high five.
Would you bring him on the show?
I don't know.
If it was like thrown out there?
Yeah, obviously.
Obviously?
Yeah. There.
I'm here for it.
Theo Von, if you're listening, just call in.
Please.
Yeah.
Love to talk.
He'd be welcome to.
Yeah.
So he had Peter McCullough on.
Oh, yeah.
Now, if you're a based non-vaccine taker, you're very familiar with Peter McCullough. Dr. McCullough was one of the guys that was speaking out against COVID real early on. He was one of the loudest voices against the tyranny that we saw. But he was on Theo Von's podcast, and Theo Von asked him, was there any group that was immune to COVID-19? Okay? Are you ready for this? This is the craziest thing ever. But I believe it. And it might make me change my lifestyle. Are you ready? Are you sure you're ready for this?
It's ready.
Was there anybody who was immune to like any genetics or demographics or cultures that were immune to COVID-19?
There's one adult group, you're going to laugh, but there's one adult group, but no specific ethnicity or culture, but you're going to laugh. Smokers.
What? Smokers. Yes. Smokers. Do go on.
Smokers couldn't get it?
They got it very mild cases. And they don't get long COVID. You know why?
Why?
Because smokers maintain a level of nicotine in the bloodstream. They actually smoke frequently enough. Blood nicotine blocks the spike protein as it's interfacing with the nicotinic acetylcholine receptor. Smoking blocks the spike protein. It's amazing. I thought smokers were going to go down.
Well, who knows now then? All those years of all those smoking advertisements ended up probably saving people's lives 40 years later.
My God. Well, you know what? We use a nicotine patch, 7 milligram patch, even in non-smokers to help them through long COVID. We use it in addition to the McCullough protocol.
Isn't
that amazing? Smokers and nicotine.
About to buy some patches.
Dude. You got to get yourself some. Tell you what, I've told my wife this, and there's anecdotal evidence. Peter McCullough, he's one of the guys that's the lead thinker on this. That's a crazy thing. I don't know if it's true, but I saw it and it made my ears perk up. Got another story for you here in the lightning round. Dr. Jill Biden continuing her media tour.
Oh boy.
Dr. Jill, she couldn't believe that Kamala Harris lost. She just couldn't believe it.
And my phone rings like 5, 6 in the morning. Did you see the results? And just at that moment, I knew. And I ran into the bedroom and I woke Joe up and I'm like, Joe, why didn't you tell me this? Why didn't you wake me up? And he said, yes, she lost. And I was shocked. I saw the enthusiasm. I was out on the road for her. The excitement. We all saw the big crowds.
The big crowds were because you had Beyonce out there. The big crowds were because you said Beyonce was performing. The big crowds were for Megan Thee Stallion. There was no enthusiasm. There was no energy. Everybody knows it. I don't know why Dr. Jill has been on this media tour. I think they're at a certain level, she's trying to rewrite history around Joe's presidency, and I think at another level, she's trying to hurt the Democrat Party because she thinks that they wronged Joe. I don't know. Your guess is as good as mine. It's 11:53. This is Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Hey, what's up, guys? It's Matt Murphy with Super Talk 99.7 WTN, and this morning we are out and about at my house, my brand new house that I've been talking about on the radio, with Nate from USS. What's up, brother? How are you?
I'm excellent. How about you?
I'm doing well.
Good.
We invited Nate out. Now, obviously, when you're a new homeowner, especially when you buy a house that's got a few years on it, you don't know what you're dealing with in terms of foundation. And I know that Nate knows a lot more about what I don't see and what I don't know about than I do. So bring the experts out and get them to check out your house. Hey guys, Matt Murphy again with Nate with USS, and Nate has just wrapped up kind of a look at the house. And Nate, what'd you find?
Well, your house is in pretty good shape for the age of it. I had to look pretty hard to find.
Okay.
Your house being on a slope like it.
Hey, what's up, guys? It's Matt Murphy with Super Talk 99.7 WTN, and this morning we are out and about at my house, my brand new house that I've been talking about on the radio, with Nate from USS. What's up, brother? How are you?
I'm excellent. How about you?
I'm doing well.
Good.
We invited Nate out. Now, obviously, when you're a new homeowner, especially when you buy a house that's got a few years on it, you don't know what you're dealing with in terms of foundation. And I know that Nate knows a lot more about what I don't see and what I don't know about than I do. So bring the experts out and get them to check out your house. Hey guys, Matt Murphy again with Nate with USS, and Nate has just wrapped up kind of a look at the house. And Nate, what'd you find?
Well, your house is in pretty good shape for the age of it. I had to look pretty hard to find.
Okay.
Your house being on a slope like it is here, I think we could do a lot of good by trying to terminate your downspouts a little further from the house there.
Okay.
Roof water is the killer of foundations, and so if we can just get it to a positive grade to drain away from your house, I think that's real cheap insurance.
You want to kind of get it out and downhill.
That's right. Yeah.
That's
So
the idea.
make sure that it doesn't come right back down towards the foundation walls and causing issues, settlement or leakage.
Now, if folks are watching this video and they are like, we need to get Nate out to the house to do a look. I mean, it took, I watched you do it. It's, 30, 45 minutes, something like that.
Yeah.
To do a comprehensive kind of an examination around the house. And they just give you a call and schedule?
Yeah, absolutely. You can call our main phone number, or you can call reach USSTN.com and schedule right through the website there.
This us?
Our girls in the call center will get back to you just about
11:57. Super Talk 99.7 WTN. I don't know what happened. But
did the spaceship crash?
Did the whole computer system crash?
It's the AI. It's the AI.
This would never happen if computers were in control.
I know. Absolutely, you're right. Nothing bad can go wrong.
Super Talk 99.7 WTN. I'm Chris Hand. The show's brought to you by Better Water LLC. We got Jay Harper in the newsroom. We got Mason. He's sweating a little bit back there, but he's back there. And we got Chad Benson in studio. What's up, man?
He's got a new gig. Could he care less about what's going on? He's like, I don't care. I'll let it go dead air. What do you think of that? Huh? This is where my head's at. Short timer.
What do you got? What do you got on the menu today? What are you paying attention to?
We had my buddy Jim Kennedy on a little bit later. He specializes in California politics. Does a lot of stuff. Does stuff for my national show, but he is He is absolutely just dialed in on California politics, lives out there, has a show out there. We're going to have him on, talk a little about what's going on there. He'll give us a rundown of how it actually works and the insanity of California. Top of that, played a little one-hit wonder, got some crazy fun audio. The trial looks like it's going to get going tomorrow in Texas. The Austin Metcalf, Carmelo Anthony, they're juries today. They're picking juries.
It's still crazy to me that he was able to raise millions of dollars via GoFundMe.
Oh, it wasn't GoFundMe. What's the other one?
Give, Send, Go.
That's
Give,
the
Send,
one.
Go. Because he stabbed a white kid.
Yeah. So
they bought a new house or rented a new house.
Yeah. So that was the whole thing was fascinating. So, and then the dad of Austin, he did one too. And I'm like, they're competing. And she's like, what is this all about? So, but we're going to talk a bit about that today. We've got a bunch of other stuff. Who knows what else we'll talk about, man? You just never know, baby.
There's a possibility we might need to still keep talking.
Did he break something or did everything just shut down?
I don't think it was Mason. Mason doesn't break stuff.
No, he just doesn't care. That's what he told me. So
is that what he said?
He said, I don't even want to push the buttons anymore.
Is that what he said?
I'm ready to get over to my other new studio.
Interesting.
Yeah. Tried to put me in cornrows.
Yeah.
So
I don't know.
What'd you talk about today?
We talked about a lot of stuff. We did the Henry Novak stuff. Have you been paying attention to that?
I have for a while. So, it happened last December. He got sentenced to 21 years.
He's not going to serve 21 years.
So probably not. I would assume probably not.
70% of those cases in the UK get out early.
So
and the toxic empathy in London.
So it's going to be there's a lot of questions, even seeing the Labor Party come out and there's a lot of questions about the police and what the hell happened here. But you see what he was convicted of? Lying on top of murder, on top of, carrying a weapon, which is weird. They convicted him of that, but by law, he's allowed to have that weapon because he's a Sikh and they're allowed to have that weapon.
Yeah. We had Tony call in, our friend from Canada, the other day. He's like, it's my religion that I can carry an AR-45. And everybody was like, yeah, he's definitely Canadian.
Yeah.
Yeah, we love you, Tony.
So we're doing that. We got a bunch of other good stuff to talk about today. It's going to be fun.
Yeah. All right. Chad's in next. 12 o'clock. Super Talk. 99.7 WTN.
Are we good? Are we not good? It's just me. We're going to me.
You're on.
What the hell happened?
Yeah, something's going on with the audio service today. We're dealing with some stuff here. We're going straight to news here with Jay Harper.